You ready? Good evening. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of March, 2026. April. I said March, didn't I? Let's get our months right. I did that earlier today, too. April 15th. It's now 5:33. Let's go ahead and do roll call.
Carol Morrell.
Beth Jones?
Chris Rocco.
Great. Let's stand for the pledge.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence, please. Okay, Tina Flores, resident.
This board adopted an ultra-virus resolution to prevent individual directors from representing the district without authorization. All of you supported it, including you, Carolyn Worrell. Is it working?
Anybody knows whether it's working?
If it's red,
It-
sorry,
I hope it's working. Are you able to?
I'll try.
Figure this thing out? I've never used it before.
Just keep it calm. It was working.
Take this one.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It's working. Keep going.
Yeah.
Let her keep, so she can keep going.
Restart?
You're good now.
Okay.
She has one.
I have this one. Okay. This board adopted an ultra-virus resolution to prevent individual directors from representing the district without authorization. All of you supported it, including you, Carol Norrell. So I'm asking a very specific question. At what meeting did this board vote to authorize you to attend the Hunters Glen 1 HOA meeting and represent the district? Because under the rule you voted for, that authority must come from this board in an open meeting. Now, regarding what was said at that meeting, statements were made about residents swatting a meeting. However, the police report already included in the district's own lawsuit filings documents what actually occurred. That characterization does not align with the documented record. It was also stated that the plaintiffs had countersued. That is not accurate. When a board member speaks in what appears to be an official capacity, those statements carry weight. And when those statements do not match the documented facts, it raises serious concerns about accuracy, accountability, and representation. So again, at what meeting was the authority granted, and how do you reconcile those statements with a documented record? Because rules without enforcement are meaningless, and facts that are ignored become something else entirely.
Linda, resident.
At last month's meeting, we heard a lot about respect, misinformation, and concerns about how this community is engaging with its own government. So I decided to test those claims with facts. When allegations of misinformation are made, there should be evidence. I submitted a public information request asking for the records supporting those claims. The response, no responsive records. Similarly, when it was stated that this district has an unusually high number of public information requests compared to over 900 MUDs in Texas, I requested the data supporting that statement. Again, the response, no responsive records. So we have repeated public statements presented as fact without any documented support. At the same time, there is growing concern about the volume of public information requests and even who is making them. But that focus is misplaced. The real issue is accountability. Over the past 10 months, Sage Management has billed this district more than $7,000 for public information, legal, and administrative work related to those requests. Yet when the underlying work product is requested, the response is consistently no responsive records. So that raises a very simple question. What exactly is the district paying for? Because if work is being billed, there should be work to show. This is not about who is asking questions, it's about whether the answers and the records exist. If there are no records, there should be no charges. And if there are no charges, there should be records. It cannot be both. If this board is comfortable paying for work it cannot produce, then the problem is no longer transparency, it's accountability.
Tom Morrow, resident.
Using the system glass here.
At the last meeting, it became clear that we can and should start needed projects now using existing reserves, rather than waiting about a year for bond funding. The main concern holding the board back is uncertainty about appropriate reserve levels and how to be prepared for emergencies. Based on my study of 6 nearby MUDs, our current approximately 13 months of reserves are already above peers, which fall between 6 and 12 months. Well-managed districts like Brushy Creek explicitly target 6 months. In my view, the previously targeted 6-month level is workable for us. We learned that the bond funds cannot be used for emergencies outside the projects they were approved for, so they are not suitable for emergency reserves. What also became clear is that no one currently owns 3 key tasks: setting reserve targets, projecting cash flow over time, and independently evaluating financial decisions. With the district moving to hire a district manager, this is a good opportunity to assign that responsibility clearly. The manager can integrate information from the operator, engineer, and accountant into a simple projection that shows how reserves change over time, identifies low points, and outlines options to manage them. So to the manager selection committee of Carol and Chris, I suggest making a motion now on agenda item 8B that the district manager will, 1, guide the board on a clear reserve target, 2, maintain a forward cash flow and reserve projection, and 3, provide scenario analysis to support major decisions like bonds. Assigning this responsibility will give a much clearer basis for decisions in the future, but don't let the manager search delay the projects. By pivoting from bond to reserves, the projects can start now. Be the board that gets the lift station rehabs rolling instead of kicking the can down the road. Get her done.
Thank you. Tom V, is it V-A-C-E-K?
Yeah, that's how you spell it. No, saying it is Vasek. Well, thank you. E-K. Yeah, okay. Well, I see on the Parks Committee report it says discuss the updating the 5-year park plan, and I can't tell you how much in favor I would be of that, because the updated budget that has been proposed for the bond has some big expenditures on there, and that improvement document plan it's 5 years old. I was just moved here when we started making that. Maybe finished is the right word. And I read it again in response to the board comment during the last public comment. Said, hey, it's in the plan. Go look at it. Well, I looked at it, and the language was about as tentative as you can get. It was something like, think about building that splash pad at Anderson Mill Park. A small one, was there, something like that. Very, very tentative. So I weigh that as about, light as a feather. And then the next one I'll talk about is number 10, your lawsuit. So, I said this before. If you voted in favor of that, you should resign. If you want to redeem yourself before you resign, settle it first. But also, I think we had a board comment that said, the judge found our claims to be founded. Let them go forward. Well, they found that your right to have a trial on them exceeds the plaintiff's right, defendant's right to, not have a trial on them by just a hair. And, you have that trial, and the jury doesn't see it that way, the judge might give you a real good kick, right? Just because you had the right to have the trial doesn't mean it's a good idea. I expect their attorney has some real good surprises up the sleeve for you guys too. So I'd settle that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. In the box, please.
Okay, I gotta answer this.
No. Yes.
Thank you, Tina, for bringing that forward. I would make a very brief comment. I received the email in my community as a resident. I didn't receive it as a board member, and it had some things that were not accurate on it. I was called and asked if I would come and speak. I considered that, thought about it. When I did decide to go, I made a point that yes, I am on the board, but I'm also a resident. And that's what I come to share with you is what I know as a board member, but also as what I know as a resident. I shared with them the facts that were presented to us that night about the bond and the infrastructure issues and the things that were listed in the bond proposal. I did make the statement, Tina, I did make the statement when I first started that I didn't come to talk politics that night. I did not wish to do that. I never turn away from a question or something that is said to me. Okay, well, Tina, you said some things about me, and I just thought I would come to you this time for it. And so if I have stepped out of line, because I did go in good faith, and there were some things that were asked of me, and I answered them. And so if I have stepped out of line, and I should have sought board approval, I apologize, and if I deserve a demerit, then please mark me for that. If there is some way to punish me for that, please do so. But I did respond because I got the email to my house, and people in my subdivision called me and asked about it. And then I got a call from the manager of their HOA. So that's why I did what I did.
Thank you for sharing and being honest. Okay,
Well, I have a comment to make around that, because,
go for it.
the double standard's great, it's all about free speech, right? You have the right to speak and the right to speak your mind. So I don't see any problem
Yeah.
about what you did, so I don't think you did it under your capacity or as a director.
I'm not
You can attend
surprised.
meetings, so.
I'm not surprised. I really thought probably one of you would have been there. But you weren't, so it wasn't my place to invite anybody.
Anything else? Okay. Are you done, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, sure you put that away? Thank you.
Okay. It's the
Okay.
15th of April.
I know, it's the 15th.
You
Okay.
signing off?
He's working on it.
That's what I'm doing.
Consent agenda items. We've got number 4, bookkeeper's report.
These are the consent agenda items.
We're gonna break the consent to just the bookkeeper's report and defer the set of minutes. We have
We're going to
two sets of
defer the minutes and approve the contract agenda, please. Anybody want to make a motion on that, or show it, or what do you want to do?
So if you all have any questions for your bookkeeper, they're on the line. If not, we would just make a motion.
Well, I mean,
You guys have already done it, correct?
I would be happy to make a motion, but is that where we are yet?
You're on the
Yes.
bookkeeper's report. yeah.
That's where we are.
I apologize for the way it is.
So we're going to defer the minutes, because we don't have them, they're not ready, and then we're going to approve the
I want to make a motion that we do approve the bookkeeper's report on bills and invoices. The reason being, we had our meeting before, we went over all of the bills, we looked at the invoices, we had some questions in a few in some places, but we reconciled that with some phone calls and so forth. And so it is I make the motion that we approve paying the bills and invoices.
I'll second that.
Okay, anything that needs to be discussed? Okay, all in favor? There you go. Okay, let's go down to number 6, engineer report.
The first item is on the status of the Cemetery Sewer Community Televising Project. Westwood has been in coordination with Ames to obtain the final product documentation, receives the final application, and achieve project completion. At this time, the appropriate documentation has not been received. The next item is on the status of the lead and copper rule revisions project. Director Rocco has provided the contact information to Westwood on April 14th, 2026. Westwood will engage with the contact to determine if information is sufficient to meet TCQ and EPA regulations to update the inventory. The next item is on the status of the Dagama and Sunchase Park Lift Station Rehabilitations Project. Westwood is nearing final design of this project and will review with the Infrastructure Committee when ready. This project is included in the bond application. Westwood will finalize design and move through permitting review and approval processes. Schedule for public bidding and construction will be aligned with the bond application process as necessary. Westwood will request authorization for public bidding process when necessary. The next item is on the Infrastructure Committee report. The meeting minutes are attached. And then also the sidewalk assessment work order. Westwood has internally reviewed the sidewalk assessment data and is currently revising to compile a completed first draft that will be reviewed with the Infrastructure Committee when ready. The next item is the bond application report. Per board direction, the bond application report has been submitted to the TCEQ as of today. And then update on other matters. The 2012 Lake Lino CMU wall, we're scheduled to visit the site next month, May 6th. Cole, is there any update on the tracts of land from D.R. Horton?
No, I think you probably take that off.
Okay. The next item is the CMU wall at 3210 Red Bay Drive. Currently, there's no update on this as Infomark has yet to receive a quote for repair. This item will continue to be discussed at the Infrastructure Committee meeting, and as updates arise, Westwood will update the board. The next item is on the Farm to Market 620 construction. The section of North Farm to Market 620 near El Salado Parkway is currently estimated to be under construction starting April 2032, according to the TechSOC Project Tracker website. The preliminary schematic for this project has been made publicly available, and we have created an exhibit overlaying the preliminary schematic over a map of the district. So if you see the second attachment, we have a schematic overlaid over the area of the district that it's set to be constructed.
Is that the color guide here on this?
Yes.
So, guide me a little bit. I see 620. And what is the green marking? What is the green marking?
I believe that's the future right-of-way, or maybe that's the red marking.
Red marking is future right of way, the green is sidewalks.
It's soccer sidewalk.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, the yellow is the future interstate or toll.
Yeah, access roads. Now, just, we wanted to give this to you all for just your preliminary review. There was some conversation about the extents of the project and which businesses may or may not be impacted by that. Just keep in mind this was originally published in 2023 as a preliminary schematic. We're obviously not privy to what's been going on since 2023 till now, but the fact that it's scheduled for 2032,
I
we'll keep a tab on if there's any news coming out about it,
Well,
but
then it's going to, it doesn't appear to have significant impact on us. Clarifying the colors, I didn't see a guide from, okay, very much.
no problem.
We'll be talking about it more. It's good.
And then the next item is on a inquiry that we got from a resident about a sidewalk near her house. We received an email from a resident living at 2306 McCall Drive that expressed concern about the sidewalk repairs. The sidewalk in front of her house has been lifted up by tree roots, and she was concerned that if any sidewalk repairs are done, that it may cause harm to the tree. We discussed this item with the infrastructure committee and potential remedies that have been considered. We're going to implement those in the sidewalk assessment, so we'll consider those for the sidewalk assessment. And then the final item is a request that we received from a representative of AT&T. This representative was just asking about district maps for utilities and things, and so we responded asking about the work that is going to be done in the district. Just kind of, we'll send you the maps, but tell us what's going to happen in the district first.
And if they cut anything, who's paying for that?
Yeah, so we.
I mean, it's happening a lot, so I would like to know.
We did not give them the maps. We instead said, we have them, we can give them to you. Why don't you tell us what you're doing first? That's kind of
And
the
if
only.
there is damage, what is your plan?
And they're not doing anything now anywhere?
No, they still are. They're coming down. They're working their way down.
Believe it or not, AT&T doesn't clue us in on everything they're doing in the area.
Because I know they're up and down there.
They are.
I don't know. I'm not monitoring.
If they're in public right of way, they can be in public right of way.
Yeah.
So typically, when communications or utility companies in public right of way, they don't necessarily need to ask permission from the district to be in that right of way.
No, but they should at least let you know, so when the residents ask you what's going on, you can tell them.
Which is what they did, reaching out, so I know they responded asking, what's the project? Typically, the district will share its map with utilities, so at least AT&T is in there, and that helps AT&T, so if they do damage, we can go back and say, hey, look, we provided you these maps, these utilities are here. But I will say this is a problem across Texas. I've got a lot of districts that have
They're a big
different-
company.
Oh, yeah, but they have subcontractors.
Right,
who
right,
come back
right.
in on their truck every other week, so it's tough. But yeah, I mean, the best way to do it is to work with, provide the plans, then have an operator or an operator rep be out there, monitoring to make sure if there is a water line break, it gets addressed quickly.
Just, very good. Curious if you ask them, is Cashel Wood and River Wood like public right of ways and not in my subdivision? So, if they're there. Like we have a right on Cashel Wood earlier this year.
That's all we have.
Okay, great. New business, bid for new cameras for building. Let's send that over.
Can we get a motion to approve the engineer's report?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the engineer's report.
Second it? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Okay, new business, bid for new cameras for building. Do you have that bid, right?
Well, actually, both of the vendors, Flipstone that did the internal cameras, and then I forget the vendor's name that did the external cameras. Oracle. They both looked at these internal cameras and said, like, these are really good cameras. I think the issues with the live stream and everything that was observed, I think that has more to do with your internet bandwidth than couldn't quote anything better than what you already have.
Then-
Now Caleb at Touchstone is still working on a quote, because some of the mics, as we experienced, are not functioning as they should. And he's getting a quote to replace some of those.
Okay, great. Then let's move it and we'll bring it back if we need to in a couple months. Discuss using the ACH organization.
Origination.
Origination, you're gonna talk about that? Is that,
No.
who put this on here?
That would be,
Artesian.
yes.
Okay,
Lisa? Is there anything that you'd like to share with the board about the ACH originations for payments? And if you're speaking, you're on mute.
We talked about it a little bit last meeting.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Do you have the live stream on?
Yeah, I do, hold on, I'm getting out of it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Daryl, was there any way that you were able to upload or display the information that I sent?
When was that sent to me?
This afternoon. Sent it to you and to Cole. I don't know if you have the ability to display that, or I can email it to the directors right now if they're looking at their computers.
We do not have those, Lisa.
Let me get that for you.
Well, while he does that, I can explain a little bit about the ACH, if he can email those to you. So there's 2 documents that are involved with the ACH. So what that involves is basically moving away from checks and using electronic payment to pay your bills. The only ones you would not be able to do that with would be your deposit refunds. We're not able to collect that data from them to capture their routing number and their account numbers. But we would do it with all the vendors and consultants that you have. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry. I can't see you, so don't know. All right, so there are 2 parts to, well, there's several steps in doing this. The board would need to approve it. Your attorney would need to agree to the use of all of the documents and the process. I have used it with several other districts. It is very new in the industry, but the reason that you're seeing a push for it is because we're constantly getting lost checks. And when I say lost, they're finding out that a lot of them are not even making it through the post office. They're being either stolen at the post office by employees, or once it leaves the post office and heads to its destination at some point along the way, those checks go missing and end up being used, to try to commit fraud. You have positive pay, which means that every single check that we issue, the bank gets the check number, the payee, and the amount. And if a check comes through that doesn't match all 3 of those, the check will get kicked out. So we're not seeing any money being stolen because of that, but we're seeing a lot of attempts at fraud. And of course, your vendors and consultants are delayed in getting paid. We're having to pay extra money to courier checks to make sure they get there. And so this saves a lot of that, and that's why we were recommending that you maybe consider doing ACH transactions. So the first step is to collect the data from the vendor, and that form was created by the bank, and that would have to be approved by your attorney. And so that form basically has the vendor or consultant approve us making payments to their account. And it kind of talks a little bit about the terms under which it would be canceled or discontinued. And so we've had very few vendors or consultants that don't want to be paid that way. Most of them do. It's much safer, and they also get paid quicker, and there's less chance for fraud. Once we get that form filled out by the vendor or consultant, we then call back at a known number and verify, just as if we were doing wires to third party. So we verify the information is correct. We confirm all of that, and then at that point, all the information is entered into the bank. We use online application with the treasury management system that they have set up. And so every month, instead of receiving dozens and dozens of checks, you would get one document, and that document would basically look a lot like the cash flow on page 3 of your bookkeeping report. It would outline that these are the items that are being paid via ACH. It would list all of those items and what the total is, and then all of the receipts would be attached to that document. Therefore, you would review that, you would be able to see all the receipts and then approve payment. But it's one page, it has a place for 3 signatures, just like a check. And so you're then, as a board, signing off on paying all of those items listed, as opposed to signing a couple dozen checks. Once we get that back, and what's nice about it, because we work remotely for you, you can have your operator scan that back to us, and then we enter it, as long as the board has approved everything, and we can enter that information into we'll already have the vendors and stuff set up at the bank, and we just go ahead and pay everybody. It can be done as soon as we get that scanned copy back. Have you been able to look at those documents yet?
Yes, I've got the form up for it.
They're up.
Lisa, I have a question on one of the forms. Can you show the form where all the directors sign? I just want to see if there's anything on. Yeah, can you go up? So it's in a
I'm
form
sorry,
of a ledger.
you want to see what? I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm wondering if could be a section in that form where if we need to hold a check that we can mark said, don't release that check. Because what seems to.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, so
Absolutely.
if you can put some sort of columns where we
If
could.
there's a check, then it can be marked right on that document.
Mhm.
I mean, same as if you signed all the checks and then later on in the meeting said, you know what, hold that check.
Okay.
We don't want to pay that. It'd be the same thing. I don't think that we need a place on the form because we're accustomed to doing that anyway.
Mhm.
It's not something that happens frequently.
Okay.
But we certainly would make note of that and make sure that we didn't pay that particular vendor or consultant.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Carol, do you have anything? I mean, I think it's a great idea.
I received that today myself, and looked at it.
I mean, I work in a business where we are losing mail every day and having to go to the post office, so I totally understand it. We're dealing with the bank often, and we're dealing with the post office often. So Lisa, I totally understand what you're doing. I'm in it every day.
Okay. The cost to the district, I think would be maximum between 7 and 10 hours. It won't be more than that. But we do have to contact every single one of your vendors and consultants, gather that information, make the phone calls then to, email them first and then make the phone calls to verify. We want to make sure that, we have the correct routing and account numbers, and then setting it up initially. After that, there are no charges.
That's what I was gonna ask you. After that, we're done, correct?
Yeah, and there's another client that we have that's in Austin has implemented this.
And they, if they do have any deposit refunds or anything like that, they've decided to process their deposit refunds every 3 months. I'm not saying you have to, but
That's what we should do.
it saves also in the cost of us having to have FedEx, send over all of the checks. At this point, if we don't have checks to write, everything can be sent electronically to your operator. We no longer need to use FedEx.
And we would be saving money, correct?
I'm sorry?
We would be saving money in the long run.
Yes, we would. Now that depends, if you wanna have your deposit refunds done, in a less than a monthly basis, that's up to you. But we also don't have to worry about the rush as, maybe we could use, just certified mail instead of FedEx, for the deposit refunds. But again, it always makes me nervous putting checks in the mail because the post office itself tells you not to put checks in the mail. They tell you basically you can't trust us.
True.
We can't guarantee that it will get where it's supposed to go.
It's not what it used to be.
Yep.
Very much not what it used to be. Okay, discussion?
Anything legal that?
I just got it this afternoon, so I haven't looked at it yet, so I would just ask if you all want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the time to look at it, and you can officially do it at your next meeting. But that'll give me time to review everything.
Absolutely.
So do we want to vote on it, and if he approves of it, we go forward so she doesn't have to keep doing that? Or do we want to wait one more month?
No, let's vote on it.
Okay, you were saying the reason why you liked it. Do you want to share that?
Well, I mean, just the whole idea of the post office telling us not to put checks in the mail, I mean, this is a way to get around that. And Lisa, is there any other downside that you can think of? Is the risk associated with this that are, I can't think of any. I mean, you can make a mistake initially, but you're gonna get it correct.
True. We could make a mistake, but we work with the auditor, and they every single year do an annual review of our processes and procedures and how we have, 2 different sets of eyes that verify everything, and people who reconcile are not the ones who cut the checks. So we have a separate person. So as far as internal theft within our organization, it's pretty much minimized to almost zero because of those process and procedures. But we can make mistakes. You can reverse transactions. Let's say we fat finger something and make a mistake and overpay someone, then we could certainly, if we notice it right away, reverse that transaction. Otherwise, we can contact your vendor or consultant and, ask them to give a credit or reimburse. I mean, that's about the worst I can think of. Once the system's set up, once we process it, we bear the same responsibility as we would with cutting checks and processing them for you. It's just the means by which the way the money gets there is just much
All the other
cheaper,
controls,
quicker.
all the other controls are still in place. Like we'll have purchase orders with numbers that we can tie to other documents so that we're not gonna have ACHs going out for payments that don't need to be made. I mean, this is just substituting these for checks.
Of course, review all transactions, and at the end of the year, we have to reconcile everything, and of course, they verify that your balances are correct and reconciled against our books.
Right.
So, there's no,
Okay. I'll make a motion that we can
Go for it.
go forward. Make a motion, we go forward with the discussion about using ACH originations instead of writing paper checks.
Pending our attorney feedback on.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, the next one we have down is we've got discuss amending current security contract, start new contract with police officer. Okay, so we do need to have a police officer in the building each meeting. I think we all are aware of that. We have not been able to do that in a while. So we do have that, we've got that option to do that again now, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do we want to discuss this? Because right now we're paying 3 people.
So do you want to submit a motion so we can discuss it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we talk about making sure that we do have, or make a motion to have a police officer in the building at our meetings. Can we get a second on that?
Well, I'll second that.
So should we wait for Chris to discuss?
We can start without him, I think.
Okay.
I don't know where he went. For a cup of coffee.
Well, but, refresh memory, what do we have currently? What contract do we have currently?
Right now, we have a security contract, but we do not have one with a police officer.
Okay, and
And
why?
we haven't
and-
had one since Monroe.
Okay, and why, what was the reason why we moved to the private company? What was the reason?
Because we didn't have anybody else at the time. We didn't, that's what,
But did we seek those and we were not able to get police officers at that time?
it's been very difficult to get anybody to work for this district.
All right, all right.
People were making phone calls and trying to get these officers in trouble.
Okay. Okay, so currently we have a contract with a private company. Have we tried to secure public police officers again? Have we tried any time
Yes.
recently?
We have that in place, correct?
Right, the county pulled out.
Williamson County pulled out.
Mhm.
And Travis County as well, right?
And,
Yeah, I don't know
Travis
about
County
Travis.
also pulled out.
Okay.
yes.
Want to
So-
work for us.
so our immediate counties.
Yeah, they've told their employees they can't work for us.
Okay, okay.
And do not want to work for us.
Right.
Because they're being harassed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna say is, I'd like to make a motion that we can start a contract with a police officer, correct? Is that how you want that?
Do you have a contract
That's what hold on.
available?
It's not, it's,
Explain.
so it's not a contract. So what I do is I contract with Officer Tracks, and it's not a contract, I contact them, and it's Williamson County Travis Sheriff's Department. I'm not Travis, sorry, Williamson County Sheriff's Department. I contact them, I fill out a form, I pay up front, and they provide an officer. And whoever, it may be somebody that wants to pick it up every time, or it may be somebody new every time. But it will be somebody that will pick it up.
Is the check to Williamson County or to the individual?
No, they get paid separately. It's actually to Officer Track.
So we will be.
It does,
It's the request kind of service.
Okay.
Where she's putting in the request, they are the ones that are paid directly. Then they-
Okay, so, or in other words, we don't have to do a 1099 on them.
no,
Okay,
that's all taken care of.
Okay.
great.
So then tonight, we have an officer from Williamson County Sheriff's
Sheriff's,
Office
yes.
because they responded with someone who was willing to come out.
Correct. I couldn't
Is
get
that,
anybody else.
okay, but I guess the question that comes in my mind, what if you put a request in for that month and nobody's going to come?
We get more, well, it's been paid for up front. Hopefully they would give us ample warning. I haven't had that experience yet, but
Well,
hopefully we'd get warning.
okay,
I haven't, I don't know, because it hasn't happened yet.
okay. Okay. So the motion is that we would seek the service of a law enforcement officer with Williamson, Travis County Sheriff's,
Just Williamson, not
Just-
Travis.
I'm sorry, I said the wrong
I
thing.
did the same thing. So-
Williamson. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's the motion, is that what you're saying, Beth? Okay,
That way we know that we have a real officer in the building.
okay. And then we would no longer have the private firm, is that,
Well, I don't, it depends,
It's up to you guys.
yeah.
What does it depend on?
Well, if we have an officer or not.
So, okay, but
Yeah.
Reese just told us that she had not heard of a situation where somebody would not be available.
That's a, yeah, that says a yes.
That's a, yeah,
Okay.
like we had before.
Okay.
I mean, and we have had that situation before where we don't have people available, right?
It hasn't happened with these, yeah, but that was only when we didn't have anybody after Monroe died.
Okay.
That was very difficult to get, because after Monroe died, the county, that Williamson, that constable's office pulled out, and then we tried to get another precinct to fill in, and they had heard too much from the original precinct about PIRs, so they decided not to do it.
Unless someone works for their own company, it doesn't work very well.
Correct. It's hard to get, if I can talk.
Yes, you may.
It's hard to get as a security company, it's hard to get an off-duty police officer because I have to follow, and they have to follow guidelines. The last police officer was Nico, and then because of the phone calls and everything, he's allowed to work for me in Austin, but he can't work for me in this district. So, I know
You want to share why?
So he was asked for his information by state law, we have to provide it, because we're licensed by DPS. He's licensed by TCO, which is Texas Commissioner of Police Officers. But his boss, getting all those letters and calls, they started calling his boss, they started sending emails. So he got called to the office, jeopardizing,
Harassed, they were being harassed.
right, because it wasn't all just one call, it was multiple calls. And we did turn on, Cole was in that, within that email, we did provide all the information required. But, it discontinued my relationship with that, county. And the other officer that I have, he drives an hour and a half. So it's hard for me, I even reached out to Huddle Police Department, Leander Police Department. But once I say, hey, where's the assignment? And I said, my District 1. Travis County won't come out here because it's only that little, this subdivision isn't Williamson County. Travis County won't come out here. So even if I had a contract with Travis County, that's not gonna work. My off-duty officers at least drive an hour to get here. And they're not available because they have standards. They cannot work past certain hours. So it's really difficult for me to get someone to come for 2 hours because in the past I've been paying out of my pocket. Which I don't mind. I want to keep everybody safe. But I have to pay those officers 4 hour minimum. They don't have no 2 hour minimum. I can do 2 hour minimum, all day because that's all I do is 2 hour minimum. They can't. They have like certain guidelines that they have to follow by their department guidelines.
Thank you.
I have a question, and I think it's important that we discuss this in open. So as everybody knows, including the community knows, the reason why we file a lawsuit is because the imminent threat of assault. And so what can you do what can't you do that an officer can do so that people understand why we need an officer here?
He can make arrests. Security can only observe a report unless you have a felony committed in our presence, right? If somebody pulled out a weapon or anything like that. A police officer has more authority. It's a day and night. Has more authority and can issue. Like I have to call a police officer to issue a criminal trespass warrant. A CTW, right? If somebody's removed and they're being harassed, I have to call a police officer. I have a police officer here. They take the information and they can immediately, grant that criminal trespass warning and be effective immediately. We don't have to wait for a police officer. I do. I'm limited because I'm a security officer in the state of Texas. So I'm very, very, very limited. Unless it's a felony committed in my presence. But if you wanted somebody escorted out, it's more effective to have a law enforcement officer, Texas peace officer, not a security guard, for this because of the prior history. And then Monroe has had to escort and place people in handcuffs
Right.
before because of the verbiage or whatever would happen, right, whatever situation that occurred. So we can place people in handcuffs, but it has to be, it's easier to have a police officer 1,000% than a security officer.
Thank you.
And I think that answers the question, if there's a doubt, why we're having a police officer. So, yeah, that's all I have.
It's unfortunate, but it's what we have to do.
And if you can have them come to the meetings, that's fine. But if the officer doesn't show up, you won't have anyone.
Right.
For you all safety, right? Because we're just here for safety and any medical reasons. I'm a first responder. We have a medical, emergency. I do carry my medical stuff. I'm a first responder. If there's a fire or something, it saves time, but I'm not a police officer. I have to call, if somebody gets escorted out, I have to call 911, right? You have to take a report. There's more steps than you have an officer on site. Now, if they pick it up or they don't want to come work here, then that's why Williamson County, when I reached out before I started the contract, I went and speak to Jeff Anderson, which he was a constable, he was Monroe's boss. He goes, hey, I don't want that. They reached out to me. I'm telling you, I went to the office. It's really hard to make an appointment with that man. Very extremely hard.
I've talked to him, and he told me why he won't come.
Right. And they were getting, because we have a different officer at the time, right? So sometimes Monroe could do it, and sometimes Monroe had another officer, but they were getting a lot of PR requests, a lot. And it was taking the time. They have 3 secretaries. I was in that office. They have 3 secretaries. And they're like, oh, no, please, no. God bless you in that contract. We wish you the best. And they turned me away.
I have another question, Cole, and I really need to understand to get the bottom of this. We've had this discussion at security committee level. So the sign was placed here initially because we had a resident that came in here with a gun. Is that correct? Now I'm hearing rumors with the new laws in place, and people can come here with guns, and there has made some insinuation around, those signs don't really matter. So whether this is a government building or not, the question is, can somebody carry into this building a gun?
It has to be in a holster. There's rules. It has to be in a holster. You cannot just have it in your purse.
Yeah, but we have the sign here basically to sort of prevent that, but we're confused around the facility. Can somebody carry here, even though a sign is not? So can we get some legal advice maybe at the next meeting around that security component? Because there are people saying, I don't care, I can go in there with a gun. And I said, well, there's signs in there. And so I'm kind of wondering if that is in fact true.
It would have to be called how the building is public or it's a government building. It does not give you 100% proof, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're in a board meeting. That sign is not going to protect you from going outside to your vehicle and getting your firearm. And now you have an active shooter situation. So just because they can't bring the gun in here does not mean you all get into a verbal confrontation of any kind, and you go grab a firearm from your vehicle and you come back and then you act on your act. And that's the reality. I hate to sound like that, but that's reality. It doesn't have to be on you. You can just go get your firearm from your vehicle. And nowadays, people now have assault rifles. And these windows.
I'll look into it about whether this building is considered public or a government building, but I mean, to Eddie's point, I think anyone who is in the mindset to bring a gun in and fire isn't gonna care if there's a sign up or not, right? They're just gonna do it.
Right.
That sign is not even like a piece of paper. It's just like a bug in the window.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some penalties in place. That's why we have signs. And so I'm just kind of wondering the value of those signs, if they are there are conversations around this stuff.
So those signs are for concealed handguns. So like Eddie said, if someone came in with a gun on their holster, that would depend on is this a government building or a public building. This building doesn't allow concealed handguns, and you see them on a lot of private businesses too, where they have signs up that says, we're putting our place in, you can't have a concealed weapon when you walk into our premises. So that's what this is stating. But yeah, I'll have to look into kind of the designation of this building and put
Yeah,
that
because
together.
we don't know, right? Have we ever, Chris, you've been around here for quite a while. Do you know the designation of this building?
That's really something an attorney should answer, because I'm just not that familiar with the law. I mean, when it's posted, you've been told, unless, they rule otherwise, that you can't carry a gun in the building.
Well, certainly it's used for other things at other times, but at this moment, this is a government meeting. So, yeah, it's a government meeting that's going on, so it is a government room. Is there any security for come into this room? Not really, but other than if there were searches, but we don't want to go to that, but
I'm sure Cole can find.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's just an unknown that we would like to know
yeah.
from a security committee standpoint.
So how do you want me to make
Well-
this motion?
Well, I think I would like to hear what Cole finds out soon. Okay, Cole?
Yeah,
Soon.
I can. And
Tell us anything and everything about this matter of what we are. Let's talk with Reese some more about this process, this company, this app, or whatever it is that you're using to get.
It's called Officer Track. It used to be called Roll Call.
Okay, but,
All that we need to do tonight is approve to be able to have an officer at our next meeting.
okay, all right. But
Only
not-
at our next meeting or ongoing?
Ongoing,
Okay,
all
that's-
of our meetings,
Okay,
because
but-
since Monroe left, it has not, and we need to put it in place.
Okay, but I'm of the mind that I do not want to negate Eddie's contract yet, because I don't know exactly what we're looking at.
But Eddie's not, he always comes, and we always have an officer also.
Right, I do, okay.
So
what is
Reese
the,
is gonna make sure that that continues, and that's what we're talking about tonight.
for the officer track, when you request an officer, how it works? Do you put in the hours, or is it a lump sum payment? I mean, how exactly does all that work?
No,
Who bills who?
it gets charged to my district credit card, and then,
Okay.
I do put in the hours, and I have set it up where it's, I set it up for the next 3 months. So it's been paid already for 5 months.
So you kind of like buy in bulk packages, I guess? Okay.
Yeah. So, I set the hours from 5:15 to 8:15.
Okay.
Which should be our 2 hours. Well, more than that, but yes.
So if you've already done those 3, then you all can make a motion to approve Reese's, purchase with the contract for officer track for the next 3 meetings, and then see how that goes, and then take more action from there.
Okay. Approve officer track app for the next 3 months.
Basically just ratifying what Reese has done to hire.
It's only 2 more, because we've already had
Yeah.
3 so
Okay.
far, so it's been 5 months.
Okay.
But if this is going to be ongoing.
It's ongoing.
Why should we limit this motion just
I
to
don't
3
think-
times?
I don't think we should, I think it should be forever.
Now, we can't, what I'm hearing is we can't guarantee that we'll have an officer every time, and so Eddie would be
Okay,
Yes.
kind of the secure,
okay.
viable plan, correct?
Because you have to think, an officer looks at that, and they, like, during special months, officers don't wanna work 2-3 hours when they can go work off duty 8 hours or 4
Right,
hours.
that makes sense.
Sure.
So when you put 3 hours that I can go make more money and have a less headache sitting outside of church or something, and then not deal, with the PR request or anything like that. Once the word gets around, it's gonna be like, well, I don't wanna go, I you're not gonna get that shift chosen, because it's up for grabs. Anyone in Williamson County Sheriff Department can pick it up. But if you have like a month of December, they rather take the shifts that have more hours, because right now we're doing 3, but 4.
And officer track isn't specific to Williamson County, it's anybody, it's just based on,
This particular one is Williamson County.
so you can choose which jurisdiction.
You can't, they won't be like.
So if someone from Travis County hypothetically
They can't,
could,
no,
No.
they won't. And it's reversed too, Williamson County won't work in Travis County.
so a Hutto Police Department.
I have to hire him off duty, and for him,
So,
I have to pay him 4 hours and I can only bill 2.
So officer
it's
track-
out of my pocket.
so I guess, is officer track a Williamson County,
Because of the
for
way the
hire
district-
system, basically, that's what
Because
I'm
you're in Williamson County.
Okay, so it's only Williamson County, okay,
Yes,
alright.
This particular officer track is, there may be different ones.
Okay,
for-
so that's kind of what I wanted to
Yes,
know,
yes.
is it, okay.
So the motion is more authorizing Infomark to use officer track to ensure that we have an officer at every meeting,
A police officer.
a police officer at every meeting. Okay, so I'll go ahead and move to authorize Infomark to ensure that we have a police officer at every meeting through the use of officer track or any similar tracks or any similar application or services.
And that includes tonight, right?
Yep. You have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, next, number 8, General Manager and Operators Report.
All right, thank you, Beth. The water accountability for March dipped a little bit, down to 81%. A related topic, I was just emailed this afternoon, the report from the leak protection company. They were actually out in the district earlier this week. They, right here at Woodridge Cove, right here off of Woodridge Lane, here in the cul-de-sac, they use acoustic equipment to listen essentially for running water under the asphalt. And they kind of pinpointed an area that had the loudest leak sound. I still have to get with operations to get feedback from them, because one of our managers was there on site with them, to know exactly like where it might be. But it's going to be an excavation to find the leak and then repair it. At this time, I don't have any estimates or anything. Again, they just sent this report to us this afternoon, about 3:30. So I will have more information and at least an estimate for you to consider at the next board meeting.
They don't think it's that pool that was filling, or, I mean, I'm just saying that, but
What's that?
I'm just looking that there's a pool on that street.
No, they heard some type of leak kind
Okay.
of right during this meeting.
You said it was the loudest. Did they find other leaks too?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
So just wanted to bring that up and let you know the latest on that. The streetlight survey was completed on March 20th. Again, there were no outages that needed to be reported to PBC.
Good.
The pond inspection was also done a couple days, but it was finalized on the 20th. And she's still working on her report, so I'll have that for you for the next meeting as well. There were 118 delinquent letters mailed, 83 tags hung, and 13 discounts. I know we had a bunch of payments made and reconnections for those disconnects. Stephanie, did everybody get reconnected? So, the process is working. Unfortunately, it's just kind of a loss. Under general notes, the report that was turned in had a note, nothing to report. But since the report was finalized, I've had kind of a couple things come to my attention. There was a concern over the Madeline Loop Bridge. there's nothing, I spoke with Tammy, the person that does the pond inspections and everything. She's not aware of any defects in that bridge at this time. There was some repairs made about 6 months ago, so I'm not sure if maybe this was old experience on that bridge that they were referring to, but we can definitely kind of go back out there and look again. But at this time, I'm not aware of anything that needs to be fixed, other than later I'll have a quote for some of the sediment and vegetation cleanup at that pond in general. There was also a report of the handrails being loose at Astor Pass and then at Andersonville B. And I've got quotes to basically reinforce those handrail posts that I'll be presenting to you in a little bit. There was also a question or concern over the caissons conditions. That's the outfall, the cement kind of pipe-looking outfalls.
Right.
They didn't provide any detail at all as far as the location of the concerns that they had, so I'm gonna try and go back to them to find out, because there's a lot of those here in the district. But again, Tammy doesn't have any of that noted on anything of serious nature.
Is that the one from the Hunters Glen Homeowners Association meeting?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay.
There was also a report about the alarm response, or the lack of alarm response at the hatch station. Again, no details were provided. I don't have dates, so I can't go back and look. But yes, we were called out for an alarm on that day or at that time. So
The way I understood it was that the person that made the report heard the alarm going off and expected, like the fire department, somebody to be there 5 minutes later, and they weren't there 5 minutes later, so. But y'all get those alarms also, right?
Well, I was going to speak a little bit to all of the lift stations here in the district. They all have communication systems, and whenever, a float, like if it's a high-level float, that, the lift station is getting too high, higher than expected, it goes through a series of phone calls to operators, our 24/7 dispatch. It's not just
And you test to see that the phone works like it's supposed to also. Yep.
So, again,
I think it was a misunderstanding of what that alarm meant.
possibly.
Yeah. But we need to respond to them.
And then the last thing was just the concern over the live stream and everything, like for these meetings. I think it's after the consultants mentioned that the camera quality is very high quality. I did look into your internet service here at the building. You currently have 400 megabyte service. You're paying almost $115 a month for that. They do have higher tiered services available. 500 megabytes, which is a slight improvement, would be $130 a month. 750 megabytes would be $160. 1 gig service is $180.
Shouldn't we find out what do we need to have streaming at a certain level? I mean, all these different amounts doesn't mean anything to me.
I can definitely ask that question, what they would recommend that you have. But these cameras and then the audio, it's at a higher quality level than, you're streaming a TV show at home. So it could be the higher tiers, but I'll definitely reach out to those.
I mean, if we have to spend another $50 a month to make sure everybody can hear it, we need to do that.
Okay. And the only other thing that I'll comment, because the Spectrum representative that I talked with, they said that the current gateway and Wi-Fi device that's here in the building would have to be upgraded in order to change to any of these other speeds. And that would just be like a $99 trip
Okay.
So I will get the speed recommendations for you.
Okay, right.
On to the current projects here in the district. Playgrounds, et cetera, did complete all of the renovations there at Anderson Mill West Park the other week. All of that's been completed and finalized. Park Pro Tech was also out a couple weeks ago. They finally got the last of the few parks that were on back order, and they've changed those out there at the park as well, so that's completed. You had also previously approved the repair for generator field services to change out the controller. They're still waiting on some parts to come in for that, so that is still scheduled, or pending schedule.
I have a question for you. I mean, parks in itself are a liability and risk, and we've talked about this. You know, people keep saying mud is only water, and right, and so that's not true. We do have liabilities, and so we have to spend money and repair these parks. Have we gotten a list from them ensuring that all of the A1 priorities that are risk to children are all clear?
You just sent a new report that you just did.
Okay.
I sent it back kind of, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 questions, because there were just some discrepancies in the report. And he just sent a corrected report. Some of the old notes from the previous reports didn't clear out when he did this newest report.
Okay.
And I still need to actually print that report out and kind of walk the parks myself to identify those issues that he's still notating, just so that I understand them better, because sometimes the safety lingo is not straightforward.
Yeah.
So I do want to better understand those, and then I'd probably like to meet with the park committee once I have that understanding to actually go through the different recommendations.
And when can we get a letter from them or some sort of document indicating that all of those A1 priorities have been cleared and done? So that we can,
I've got the one quote to address one of those still at the small little pocket park over by the Hatch Dry Pond.
Yeah.
That's one of my quotes tonight. So I know at least that one is still outstanding. Kind of going through, I've got a longer than normal list for y'all to review and consider for approval tonight. Top of mind is our Infomark professional services agreement. I know that Bill is here, and we met with him earlier, or like last week, and I think maybe has a little bit of information to share this.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that after you finish what you're doing?
Why don't you finish the other recommendations, and then we'll have, you can go on.
All right. The second item on my list is just a notification. Waste Management in their contract has an annual rate adjustment. That rate adjustment is 3.75% this year. And again, it's per their contract. It's nothing you need to approve. It's more of a notification that you'll see this increase on future bills. The first quote that I have for your consideration is for the Anderson Mill A. It's to replace the 5 of the disc golf kind of 4x4 mats that are there for the disc golf course. It also includes kind of just cleaning up the immediate area around the horseshoes and washer areas. That quote is $1,976. There's also, further down the list, lane care. You'd asked me to kind of get with them on some of this cleanup as well. What he proposed and quoted is much more than a small vegetation and tree trimming just around the horseshoe pits and washer area. It was for that entire kind of wooded area there in the park. His
Are you talking about Sunchase?
No,
No?
No,
Which
Oh.
one are you? Where are you?
What park is it?
it's not the park, it's the pond, Andersonville Pond.
Okay, Andersonville Pond Park.
yeah, to basically clean up all of that entire wooded area is what Land Care quoted. It's $13,257.14.
That sounds like
Did you say 257.13?
$13,257.14.
14, okay.
Sounds like a park committee question.
Any questions between our kind of quote to do the disc pad, the disc golf pads and the.
How much was that again?
That was $1,976.
Okay. Do you have anything on the Sunchase horseshoe pit? It's a mess. I was over there.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, that's all. I'll let you go. I just want to make sure.
That's the one, that one was brought from,
The Hunter's Glen.
yeah.
Yeah.
That,
But keep going, Daryl. I don't want to interrupt you.
horse,
Yeah,
that's
I don't have
Sun.
the quote on that one yet.
Okay,
You
but
do not?
you do have it that it needs some work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the 4x4s are kind of raw.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay. The next one, for $494, is the cleanup of the trickle channels and inlets, there at the detention pond number 11, the Yaywall Creek.
What's it called?
Yeah, you got, the one, it's Hatch,
Hatch.
yes.
The next one is detention pond number 7, there at Vista Villa. It's again, the basin itself has a lot of cuts from when it had heavy rain in the basin, so it's kind of to regrade all of that with like a skid steer, and then remove all of the excess sediment from
Okay.
the pond.
Which pond is that?
Vesta Villa,
Estavia.
Oh, that's the
sorry, my Texas.
Valente Hills, right?
And how much is that one? For 7?
$3,952.
And that's 7, right? Correct.
Correct.
Number 7.
Yep.
Number 7.
Got it.
Detention pond number 6, at the Cashel Wood. Again, it has, the really bad ruts in it as well, so it's regrading that basin and removing the excess sediment, and then also to kind of clean up the taller vegetation in that area. There's also a small area that, some of the wiring on the gabion wall needs to be fixed and repaired because it's gotten broken over time and letting
I know what you're talking about.
gabion wall's gonna fail.
And what is it?
That quote is $3,952 as well.
Same thing.
No, actually $1,000 more.
No, the other one was 3,952. Number 7 was.
Yeah. All of those are basically for the 8 hours of work to be done by different technicians.
That's how he's doing this, is by hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, if they get out there and it takes them less time, it'll be reduced. These are just your estimates. Also, detention pond number 2, at the Madeline Loop. Again, it's to clean up and dispose of the spoils there at the Trickle Channel. There's a lot at that one as well. It's the same 8 hours at $3,952. Detention pond number 5.
What's the Madeline Loop number on that?
2.
2?
Number 2.
2, okay, thank you.
Number 5 at Anderson Mill. This is to address the bridge posts that are loose. We'll basically go in with some steel brackets and re-secure those posts to the main bridge supports. That estimate is $520. Same thing at number 10 there at Astor Pass. Again, reinforcing the handrail support courts, again, $520.
Number 5? Is that number 5?
That's number 10.
Number 10.
Oh, sorry.
5 and 10.
Well, 5 and 10 are both $520.
Okay.
Do the same type of work on the handrails for the bridges.
Gotcha.
This next one is a quote for land care. It is to address one of the P1 safety concerns at the small pocket park near the Hatch Pond. Essentially, the play structure and the barrier around it that's holding in all the mulch is about 3 feet too close to the street. So that's why it's a P1 safety issue. I met Dustin out there a week and a half ago to see if the barrier, that plastic barrier that holds in the mulch, could be adjusted those 3 feet. Moving it that far, then the barrier comes into play with the safety area of the swing itself. So there's no happy medium. We can't move it enough unless we move the entire plate structure of the swing set. It'd be probably a lot more than what this estimate is. What this estimate does is there's already some of the landscaping stones that are sitting there kind of as benches in several areas. This would extend those stones and almost kind of make a half wall, if you will, in a line. That way, it solves the P1 safety violation.
The play space would not be too close to the street.
Well, a child couldn't run directly from there into the street.
Okay,
Right.
good.
Because the stones would be an obstacle.
What's the cost on that?
That is $8,771.33. And that's for, I believe it was, let me get you the quote. I think it was either 11 or 17 of the, 11 of this 2 foot by 2 foot by 5 foot landscaping blocks.
Say that again, 2 foot by 2 foot.
They're 2 foot by 2 foot and 5 foot long.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, if you do this with the blocks, the stones, and you say the concern that we have is that it is a P1 need, it is a high priority safety issue. So the other avenues that you said would not work, but this stone wall kind of a thing would work. Is that has it been looked by someone who does the?
When I met Dustin, the safety inspector for the parks, he's the one that I discussed this with.
Okay, and so he said that will then remove the P1.
Correct. I don't remember if he said that they would move it to a P2 or a P3.
Okay, that's
It's still going to
concerning.
be a safety concern because of the distance, but it's not a P1.
Can you show us a picture? Please.
Let's see if I have that.
And it just has to do with the closeness to the street, right?
Yes.
Would putting up fencing do anything?
Oh, you found it.
No.
You could put up a fence. It would serve the same purpose.
That's what I'm thinking, because all we're trying to do is lower the risk, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's an idea, that's not real expensive.
The only thing with a fence is, I'd need to get a quote for that to see how much that would cost. And then the other ongoing thing is maintenance of the fence.
Right.
But yeah, if you can see right here, this block would actually be moved to line up with this one that's still there to close this gap. And then there would be an additional 2 to 3 stones on this side.
I know.
And then you'd have about 20.5 feet of stone kind of coming out this way along that path.
You say 8,726?
8,771.33. I want, I mean, we can definitely get a quote for like a half fence. I can check with Dustin to see exactly like the height that would be required to be considered a
Barrier.
barrier to alleviate that P1 safety concern.
Yeah.
I can't see very well, I'm not.
I would, I mean, it's an $8,000 deal, I would maybe look into some other quotes and some creative way to maybe reduce cost. That will last, right?
Yeah, I mean, that,
Yes.
Yeah,
but that's gonna take a little mini, what do you call it? Piece of equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, do y'all have that kind of equipment?
We typically, if we don't have it, we'll rent it for the day.
Y'all can bid on it too, so. Okay.
Yeah. Just when I'm getting quotes and things, is there any type of fence material or something that y'all would?
The least expensive that gets the job done to a certain standard that's being approved by the safety guy.
For the 8,000 one, correct,
Yeah.
for that one.
Chain link?
Chain link wood, I don't know, maybe cedar would be some, I envisioned like, what do you call it, that rough cedar post? That's not real expensive.
Okay.
As long
I
as
just
you can
built-
see
I just-
over it.
I just built a fence and,
At Sun Chase, they did, what was that? Not picket, but
yeah, it's like
two
that.
wood, the two pieces.
That's
of
what
wood,
I'm talking about.
two pieces of wood.
Right.
yeah, but we gotta check and see if it, I mean, that complies with safety, so.
Well, of course. I mean, cost is after that.
Right,
Cost
yeah,
is
yeah.
after
It
safety.
does, that's what we'll put in the Sun Chase, we put in the place game.
Right.
What was that split rail?
Yeah, I can send you the detail.
Can you give us the total on all that, or are you still going?
You're still going.
I still have a couple, I'm sorry.
Keep going.
Keep going.
All right. The Cashel Wood triple channel also needs some cleanup. It's removing all of the sediment and the overgrown vegetation, leaves, and just everything that's built up over the last few months. And it's also regrading that basin as with the others. This one is $2,970.
What's the difference between that one and, is that pond number 6?
It's just not as much sediment and everything there on this one versus the others.
You have a number.
Yeah, what number is
What
it?
pond and cash out?
Do you know the
Number 6.
I don't have it on.
Because you had previously, you had a Cashel Woods pond number 6 that had a wiring,
For 39.
regrade, and remove sediment.
Michelle is 6, yes.
Yeah, you already said that one.
Yeah.
But this is
But
land care.
that was the
Oh,
pond.
yes,
This
this
is
is
the,
land care.
Well, then why are they doing it and you doing it?
Because you asked me to.
Oh,
Yeah, you asked Dick,
At the last meeting, I'm sorry, that's why I didn't have the,
oh, so Landcare hasn't done this?
no,
What,
You asked us
shouldn't
today.
that just be part of their job in that, or is that not?
no.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
They mow and blow,
Yeah, that's right.
that's it.
Okay, I mean, well,
The only thing that Lane Care's quote does not include is the grading of the basin. This is just to clean up sediment, leaves, and.
And how much is
and
that
it's
one?
there, I've seen it.
Theirs is $1,000 less than us.
So it's 2.
It's
Yes.
$952.
$970.
And that's land care. Okay,
Also for land care, they're at the Anderson Mill Pond. I know last year when we met him out there to talk about all the tree cleanup stuff, we were talking about that kind of area that was planted with that Asian vine that's since from the freeze and drought.
that you planted all that by
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, the stuff in between the school and the park.
Yes.
Yeah, I did that myself.
So to reestablish that vegetation, he's quoted that at $13,000.
Ooh, no, I'll do it again before we do that. No, we're not gonna, we're not
Come on,
doing
we
that.
don't wanna do that one right
Okay.
anyways, 'cause it'll come out when we do the other.
That's the Anderson Mill West Park.
Yeah, so take that, can you put a little X by that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's Confederate jasmine, I think.
He stated Asian jasmine.
Oh, Asian, okay, that's Asian jasmine. All right. we could buy this stuff.
I know, we could do that. That one we can, I think we put a star by that one.
And it was 13,000 what?
270.
Okay.
So which ones would you like totaled up for consideration?
Everything but the
Everything
last
but that last one.
So do,
And having Infomark do the Casho Wood cleanup or land care?
one. Well, it's a little cheaper with land care,
But they're not regrading the basin.
Right,
which we need to regrade the basin, so.
right.
Okay, so no.
So it's that those last two, we don't want in the total.
Okay, and you
Well, wait a
also
minute, you
want to
need, like-
defer the stones at the pocket park? Or defer that for now?
Well, yeah, we want to defer that, that's too much money.
And have we asked them if they can do the regrading of the basement, or, and they,
It was in our quote request for. those
okay, gotcha,
locations.
yeah.
So we're close to 50, am I right? Or what is it?
Um,
Take the land share 13,270 out. I mean, Chris did that himself once.
Yeah, it's just not,
Figure out.
I don't know why it'd be
You
13,000.
can get a scout troop or somebody. to
Right,
help us.
exactly.
That'll have to be approved because he's a board member.
What?
If he's going to do it, it has to be approved by the board.
Yes, he's not gonna do it. We'll
Yeah,
have
I'm
the
not gonna
scout
do
troop
it.
do it. I mean, we've had the scouts put in sidewalks.
They're always
Yeah.
looking for,
They've got
projects.
projects they've got to get done, so.
we'll get them a little sign that says they did it.
That's right.
Okay, so for
I have an
the,
Eagle Scout.
the sum of the Infomark quotes is $15,366.
15,000 what?
366.
But that's taking out the Hatch Pocket Park work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But hold on, I thought go back to the Sun Chase Horseshoe area that needs to be cleaned up.
That one's not on this month's.
Yeah, I didn't have a quote yet for that.
Yeah, he
Okay.
didn't have a quote on that one.
Do you want me to just go through the pond numbers of the items that are in that total?
Yes,
Okay. Pond 4, 11, 7, 6, 2, 5, and 10.
That's
Thank
what I
you.
have.
Okay. I would like to make a motion that we work on getting the parks cleaned up, and we've got, do you want me to say the numbers again, or do you want to say them?
why don't
Alright.
you just,
Or just
do you know what
approve?
they're approving? Because I have no clue.
Yeah,
No, he does.
Okay, alright, so if you have it marked then, and you all know what you're
and
approving.
we know what the total is
Yeah,
too.
you know
Yes.
the total, approve that total amount, and then Daryl, if you could just send to me like a scanned image of that with the projects that are crossed out, then you just approve that.
15,360.
Yeah, 15,366.
15,366.
okay. 4, 11, 7, 6, 2, 5.
Okay.
Do you have that, Cole? Do you want us to say that again?
15,366 for the specified projects on, because they're all listed on the report.
Correct.
Right.
And we took a few off.
Right,
Yes.
you could give me those, yeah.
So
Okay,
you were making the motion?
I was. And you have the motion,
Okay,
or you
your
want me to
motion.
say it again?
No, I have your motion.
Okay, can someone second that
I need a second.
for the
I'll
parks?
second, I'll second that.
Thank you.
So we have a second. I have another question. So y'all have been here a lot longer than I have. So we are sure that this is, I mean, do we have any other quotes besides what you're providing?
No. Other than the land care quotes for some of the vegetation cleanup that was requested at last meeting,
Yeah,
no. This work has typically always been done by Infomark.
okay. And it's not part of the contract, correct? Current contract that we have?
That's what I just asked too.
It is not,
It is not.
okay. And have we looked into another option for quotes?
Did you get, how many did you get, or did you just get one?
Only from land care for the cleanup of the outfalls that were discussed last month. It
Okay.
was only the 2 of them.
I mean, I don't know what this entails, but I mean, common sense to me tells me why can't we look for other options?
Well,
These are
remember-
$3,952 apiece.
remember, these are gonna go down if they're not there 8 hours, so hopefully it will not exceed this, it's gonna be less than
Yeah.
this.
I've got photos, you know, all of this sediment here
That's why I said-
from this outfall needs to be removed. Down this trickle channel, all of that needs to be removed.
Okay.
Some of it's lighter cleanup like this and this outfall here.
Imagine leave some mess.
I know.
This, you probably can't see on the screen, but right, you can't even see my mouse, sorry. But this is the gradient wall that has some of the wire that's broken that needs to be repaired. And then the other photos are of the sediment and everything that needs to be cleaned out of these outfalls.
Gotcha. And y'all have done the work before?
I've got photos for all of these quotes.
Okay.
That's less than 4 for each area.
Gotcha. All right. That's all I have.
So we had a motion and a second discussion. Call for the vote.
I mean, I'm hoping that we're still gonna save a little bit on some, I think some of those are gonna take 8 hours, just from looking at it.
Madeline.
I mean, we've got to rent a skid steer and get in there and and haul off loads of sediment in some of these.
I saw that, but some of them, hopefully, we're gonna be saving a little bit, so I'm hoping that it's a little bit less on some.
It could be.
CMD has skids.
Okay.
I hope that they're not coming back to ask for more.
So I have a motion by Jones to approve $15,366 for the specified projects in the general manager's report, seconded by Carol.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay. I'm gonna let you take it. Well, let's see where you are.
Are you done, Carol?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, let's have Bill come up.
Bill, you want to talk now?
Sure. Love to.
Welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, Infomark has bought cookies that everybody out there, anybody interested in cookies, please go help yourself. They're on the counter right in front of the kitchen. Linda, Gina, that means y'all too, so please. Okay.
This is Bill Fry, tell us that.
Can you
Say his
introduce Bill
name.
Fry, please?
Yeah, this is Bill Fry. He was here last meeting.
Right.
And he's come in this meeting to review his report that he did. Bill,
Correct.
take it away.
All right. Thanks, Chris. I did have the opportunity to meet with the committee this afternoon to review the report before I give it to everybody here at the meeting. And also, this report has also been sent to Infomark for their comments, and I didn't think there was anything that was negative from their standpoint. So I had 3 things I was supposed to do since last meeting, and I'll in the report you'll see 1, 2, and 3. The first one was to review the draft professional services agreement amendment that Infomark has provided. Infomark was, and I want to thank Infomark for providing all the information they provided, all the documentation and all their thoughts in that as it goes. I actually knew some of the folks that were in the meeting with me the other day, so from my past life. But I will say that we reviewed the PSA. We actually had the opportunity. We went back to 2011 agreement because we actually had a copy of that, and then to this point to where they're, where they are today. And we also tracked the cost, increase in the cost, how it tracked, and it tracked according to contract. So everything they've said and presented to us is tracked in our analysis of their contract. The other thing we also reviewed was their charges for vehicles and time and materials and those types of charges in their schedule rates, which I will say is very customary. The rates are very competitive with everybody else I've seen in the business, and I've seen everybody's contract, by the way, because it is public record, and you can get anybody's contract and review that. They know that, we know that. But the thing is, there has been escalation in vehicle cost, of course, and some escalation in some other areas, equipment cost.
And right now, there's no fuel charge in there going forward, at least I didn't see that. But we're all in a situation right now that could be an extra fuel charge, but the way it is that the way we've done it in our business over the years is we've never included a fuel charge in the operations contracts, and they aren't.
Are you talking about a surcharge?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see that from other vendors.
Right.
But there's no sight of that. So all I'm trying to say is that their contract and what they're proposing is very, very comparable for O&M work, right? And what they're doing. And one of the comments you just made is, why are we just doing them instead of going out and getting a bunch of bids? Well, look at the number of small jobs there are. And there's a lot of contractors that, then they'd have to also oversee those contractors, and there's additional costs on the top of it. So I think that's one of the things you need to think about when you're contracting with the O&M operator for your district. They're going to be doing the majority of your work. They should be doing the majority of work. And it's also more cost effective if they do it than bringing in a bunch of different contractors, and as long as they have the expertise to do that. And then they'll bring contractors to you because they don't have that expertise in-house. So I think they've done a really good job in this district over the years. This district is not deteriorated by any means. It's because of their performance. That's my opinion. And when I reviewed, because I did go out and actually drove the entire district, looked at different ponds, looked at access to the lift station stuff. You don't have any plants to operate, water or wastewater plants, so you just have a system here from a water wastewater standpoint. Most of their time is spent on your detention ponds and parks, the way I see it. But you're still planning on doing that under the agreement. They still do the operations of those things. So one of the things they also did is they brought us and I think y'all have seen this, where either you have a guy here 4 hours a day or you have a guy here 6 hours a day, and the cost of what that is from an operations standpoint. And we discussed this a little bit in the committee meeting. I think 4 hours a day is sufficient to take care of the things you need to do rather than the 6 hours. Because realistically, if a 6 hour is in their contract, they're actually going to have to charge that guy 8 hours. That's your cost, is 8 hours. If you have a 6 hour guy here, you still have travel time and all that.
Ultimately, we will charge them the base fee 6 hours. Currently, you're paying for 8 hours.
Right.
Reviewing the work orders as far as what falls inside the base fee and what's billable. We believe everything can be done within that 4 hours with no additional charges on average. So you'll save money in that aspect. He's just not needed. He can be here, but 4 hours is comparable for what he's really doing.
As far as the base, and then anything outside of that is work orders.
Yes, will be work order related. Now, with that, say he received 1 or 2 work orders after he left the district. If it's not emergency related, then that will be held to the next day and be on the base fee. We wouldn't do a simple meter change out or put a meter box and lay it back on.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. An emergency would get taken care of.
Only emergencies. If it can wait till tomorrow, we would do it on the base fee.
Okay.
And that would be the goal.
And they explained that to us as well in our discussions of how that works. So we made a recommendation if you're looking at in the amendment reducing the person on site to 4 hours instead of 6. But anyway, our meeting that we had on the 8th was very productive, and we got a lot of understanding of what was in the base and what wasn't. The second thing was to produce a list of management tasks or items that would not be included in the amendment. And so I've attached their response to that list and what those items are. And that's on the second page. If you want to talk, we can go through those. The general manager task, reviewing, managing, and approving consultant contracts and agreements, services, invoices not related to Infomart, such as, and they gave you some examples there. The next one was special reports and enforcement activities, preparing reports, handling matters related to customer service, billing, and water and sewer infrastructure operations. These items are outside of that. Deed restriction enforcement permit violations involving coordination with law enforcement or tax rate, going out and trying to figure out what tax rates are out in the district, other than the district, and researching that. Then the other one is coordinating external meetings, coordination of those, which can be done by a general manager, and I have some options for you to talk about in that regard. Now, it did say it does not include ordering food or print materials for the meetings or whatever, so that's one thing. Then local administrative inquiries. I guess this really gets into the request for public information request and those types of activities. That would not be under their agreement, because I think under the current agreement was that was covered by the base.
That would be like a realtor wanting some information about the district.
Or anyone who wants public information.
Right, but other than a resident, what if a resident wanted something?
Well, I don't think that's what they would be doing. That would be more coordinated with the general manager and legal.
Okay.
Because I think legal is keeping track of public information requests.
True.
So let me ask about that,
Okay,
if it's okay.
sure.
Seeing how we know how many PIRs we get in this district, more than anybody else in the entire state, does that mean that we're gonna have to pay for each of those separate?
So the way the contract currently is PIR requests that go to InfoMarket's included in their base contract. So they can't, quote unquote, charge against the requester because it's part of their contract already. However, when PIRs come in and they come to my office or to Westwood or someone who doesn't have that as a built-in, we respond to PIRs as built into our flat fee. We charge the district for that time and we charge the requester for that time, and that goes against the allotted time that they get. So if somebody were to say, hey, I want 12 months, I want 18 months of the account data for these 5 houses under the Public Information Act, they come to me, I forward that on to InfoMark. InfoMark says, okay, we put it together, it took us 2 hours to do that. We send a statement to the requester saying, all right, 2 hours are against your credit because it took InfoMark 2 hours to get this done. Whereas now, they would just have to spend the 2 hours, it goes over their flat fee, and we can't charge the requester for it. So that's.
So the requester is being charged for providing the information?
Yeah, like charged, not actual monetarily until they hit a statutory limit. But
Gotcha.
yes, charged against their allotted time.
But anyway, they want to take that out of their base as well. So what we did learn also is that by taking those things out of the current contract, there is a reduction in their fee by about $20,000 a month. Is that correct? That's what y'all told me in a meeting the other day. So I think that's also been stated with the committee as well. But that leaves a gap. What are the options that you have if they just do the operations only, doing the things that they're doing now, and there's not a general manager or somebody to do those tasks, right? So I had 3 options, and actually the first option is the one I think is the best, and that's to contract or hire a part-time general manager or somebody with the knowledge of managing districts, that could do it on a part-time basis, not really a full-time basis, because I don't think you have enough tasks requiring a full-time general manager. So that was option 2, but you can do that if that's what the board desires, to have somebody here full-time in the office all the time, every single day. That's going to be costly. It's going to be could be more than the $20,000 that you're saying.
12.
Could be. Don't know.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
And then you'd also have to provide different things such as insurance and those types of things. Whereas part-time, you really don't have to provide those kind of things.
So, I apologize. So are you saying as an employee part-time, or is this
No, I'm
person going to be
saying,
a contract?
I'm recommending that if you hire somebody on a part-time basis, the benefits package is what you would have if you had a full-time.
But he would be an employee.
You can make him an employee, as a part-time employee of the district, or you could contract somebody and they do it on an hourly basis or a flat fee basis or whatever. And it could be somebody that's already in the business of doing that would just do just the general management, and they would do it on a part-time basis. I do know some companies that do that.
Okay.
that do this business, right?
Okay.
So, that could do that. And then, of course, the last one is, I think is, it would be disastrous, and I think y'all have already kind of gone through this, where you went and tried to get another O&M operator that could provide the general management, and it just didn't seem to work, because you really can't. And I'll be frank with you. I went out and kind of asked some of the other guys that are in the area to do this. They're not real interested in it.
Not for this district.
That seems to be a concern, but there again, there is a way to make this work, I believe. And I think it does start with the board to make it work. Making a decision that works best for the board. And frankly, I think it works best for what their expertise is, again, from our O&M, contracting, doing what you do, and then having somebody that really directly reports to the board and then works with everybody that's consultants or whatever. And you kind of have a conduit, if you want to call it that, person that takes care of a lot of these concerns that you might have instead of you trying to go and talk to everybody. Now, there may be situations where, but at least that one person or conduit can help you get the communication clear and flowing correctly. That's my opinion. I have served as a general manager in a couple of cases myself, and I will tell you, I'm not looking for a job here. I am looking for ability to maybe help y'all transition to that position, finding somebody, help you find somebody. I'm interested in doing that. And then, but basically working with Infomark to transition. It's going to take a little bit of time to determine what tasks you're currently doing, and then making sure those tasks are going to be taken care of by somebody. Whether it be me, interim, just temporarily, so you could go on with your contract. And I do suggest that you make their contract effective either 1st of May or whatever works for you guys to work that out between you and Infomark. And then I'm willing to help out in transitioning that to a part-time person and help you find that person, if that's what you want to do. That's my recommendation for this board. And it comes on the heels of, I've been here and done that with you guys, this district, years ago. And a lot of it was you had to have you really needed a strong manager person that could actually help do that. And we did that through a contract with the previous company I was with, but I'm going to tell you, it was a pain. And that's what they're feeling. It's a little bit of pain. And they're saying, can we maybe back off a little bit here and not feel so much of the pain, because, you're taking everything to these guys, everything. And their real expertise is operations and maintenance and taking care of facilities.
And I'm going to add, during that transition period, if you do choose to go that direction, it wouldn't be any kind of additional cost for that. Daryl and I specifically will handle that. And we will still assist with any kind of coordination that we can with these items with the new GM. The concern is we're just not specialists in some of these tasks. And we can do them, but we believe others can do them well. We don't have regular practice in those things, and that's the biggest concern here. So we want to reduce the cost, which is that $20,000 a month will be about $240 a year for you guys, just because looking at the work orders and the time here, it's just not needed. Looking at our analysis in the work order system, and we would love to coordinate, we're just not the best at some of these items, and you deserve, again, someone that can actually do those things professionally, that can pull from other resources that we just don't have. But again, we fully support you guys and will assist however that looks like. We just don't believe we should be the decision makers with that.
So Bill, I have a question. So what I'm hearing from you, which I think it's important and unique, because for sure I don't have the time nor the knowledge to direct or train or an employee. So I'm glad to hear that we have you as in a firm that has plenty of experience. And so what I'm hearing from you, you would be able to help us perhaps interview, help us select the right candidate, train them on the job, right? Be there as an advisor, because
Correct.
right? And so, okay.
Yes, that, you know, I'm not gonna walk out of this room and leave you hanging,
Yeah.
is what I'm not planning on doing. Chris called me and he says, hey, would you look at this or to help us with this? And it's the only reason I did it. And I will tell you, I did charge $1,000, but I spent a lot more than that just so far, and I'm okay with that, because I have a heart for this district, and I don't know why, but I do, because I worked here so long over the years that you can be, I think you can be better than what you are. And I think I can help you do that. And I'm not talking politics side. I'm talking about the day-to-day operations of the office, taking care of the management of the facilities, and not having directors pulling their hair out. Why isn't this done, or what's not going on? And you're calling this guy, you're calling this guy, you're calling the engineer, you're calling the operator. Get a conduit. That's what you need, I think.
Yeah, and one of the issues that we've been having in this district, and I've been watching, is the management of tasks. You know, we talk about things for 7 years, nothing gets done, right? Because we don't have some sort of system in place that allows us to set up priorities. Are we following through? Are we holding our contractors accountable?
Correct.
We remember we used to have that committee manage the managers. Y'all hated that.
Yeah, we had-
But it kept track of all these. It kept track of all the
But
different assignments.
we
and-
had a long list of things, and we tried to knock them out as much as we could.
Right, and you know what? After doing that, you convinced us how difficult it was. I mean, I used the analogy of the guy. I don't know what show this was, where he had plates spinning on a stick, and he'd get them spinning, and he'd go down the line, and he'd get number 26, and he looks back at number 1 and number 2 and number 3 are starting to slow down. He has to run back there and start spinning them again. And we have so many of those different things that are going on at one time that sometimes you needed that kind of help.
Right. And the thing is, until we really get into seeing all the work that you guys have been doing, and now you're saying you're not going to do those things, you know, I may be all wet here. It may be a full-time job, but right now I can't see it until I get into it and really understand it. But I think it's very doable, and I'm willing to help.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Sure.
Your experience on, one of the things, deed enforcement, we pay a lot of money for deed enforcement. Do you think it's a good idea to have a manager that could also handle that? Or do you
No.
think it's too much of a conflict of
No.
interest?
Deed restriction enforcement is a specialized area.
Okay,
That's where you really have to have somebody that's all they concentrate on.
gotcha.
And I think you already have that in place, if I'm
We
not
do,
correct.
yeah, we do.
And I will tell you, because at one point in time, I was tasked with that deed restriction enforcement deal, and I was definitely not the person to do that.
Okay,
And I found somebody to do it for a period of time, but we had some, if I recall, a lot of the deed restrictions here are not even enforceable.
Right.
Is that still correct? I don't know if that's the case.
Yep.
But it was kind of like, we went out and we were just doing what we thought needed to be taken care of. Such as I said, oh, somebody has to mow their yard. Oh, no, it's natural. Deed restriction says, didn't even address it. There wasn't a deed restriction for mowing your yard in certain sections.
And then the bondholders came to us and said, what is this about you don't have enforceable deed restrictions? Because we turned in a bond application that said we had deed restrictions. So
Well, there is.
That's
Don't
right.
get me wrong, but
That's
you
right.
have to enforce the deed restriction according to what the deed restriction is.
That's right.
So you have to have somebody
The
specialized.
way some of them were not written in
But
such
you
a
had to
way
have
that
somebody
made
that
enforcement easy.
specialized in enforcing each section differently because there were different
And that's what we have
restrictions.
now, and we have a lawyer that's what he does.
Right.
And so
And that's what he's good at.
he is specialized, you'd leave that alone.
Right.
I would
Yeah,
not see the
he's
gentleman.
very-
The gentleman,
that's all he
other
does.
than getting a report from the guy, that's all I would see. The involvement of the gentleman.
Right.
So you've made us, you've reviewed with us the pros, the benefit of going with the lesser contract, the reduction in contract
Correct.
cost. And then you made a suggestion that we set a date, if that's whatever we're going to do or not do.
And it may be a discussion you need to have with them.
Well,
Yeah, we
but-
need to
but-
all three talk.
Let me finish first,
I'm sorry.
please. You're saying for us to put it out that it would be effective beginning, I think May is almost here. So maybe June, if that's the route we're going to go. If that is the route that we're going to go, I would say that we would have that caveat to it that we'd be looking at it all along and working with you, and maybe in 6 months and see where we are. And we can still go back to a contract and review it again. Is that still stand in place or not?
I'm gonna interrupt real quick, I'm sorry. We have exceeded our 2 hours, so I just need to take a vote that we extend for another 45 minutes.
I'm fine with that.
I'll make a motion, we extend for 45 minutes.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh,
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. No, the question I had was, I've lost it.
But
Okay.
to answer your question,
Uh-huh.
you know, if you go and approve this professional services,
Uh-huh.
agreement, and then 6 months down the road, some issues are identified and we need to amend it again,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. We can
Okay,
Go
okay.
through the same process and.
Okay, that's still in the contract. That,
It wouldn't be in the contract, in language terms, but if you wanted to go back and amend anything as far as the tech work or the admin time that's being reduced and you believe that something needs to be added back because it brings value, we would definitely do that. I can also assure you that if you did move forward with this and say you wanted to do May 1st, but you did not get a GM in place until June or July, we will still honor what we're doing for the general manager contract for a certain amount of time. We will put that in writing, but if you wanted 3 months, 4 months to do that, we're completely fine with reducing that cost for the admin and the tech time, but still assisting until you get to that point in time.
You haven't been doing that for a while now anyway, okay? And you still have the 30 days notice to break the contract, correct?
Yes.
yes.
Well,
still
that's
in
what you're
there.
talking about, Carol.
Well, that is in there. I know that's in there. But there has been the negotiation possibility of making review and changes. And I was just asking if that was still a possibility, because I was saying that if we go with Infomark, that we set a date for it to officially begin, and that putting in there that we would be reviewing to see how cost effective, how is this affecting us? Because like I say, we had a few months, or several months in a row, a long time in a row, where we had our base pay 54,000, whatever it was. And then we had the extras, and I know I quizzed you a great deal. You know, you went through that with me all the way. As I went through those invoices and those work orders, and I was saying, well, this is not what I understand this to say, and so forth. And those were pretty extensive bills.
Right.
That were outside of the base fee. And I would ask the question, well, why is this over here? Why is it not over here under base fee? And so certainly this is clear. Will be definitely clear what is base fee, what's outside of the base fee. And but the last couple of months, that extra amount that we owe you hasn't even been $1,000. It's, what was it this month?
400 something.
400 and something this month.
And part of that was some of this pond work.
Yes, that's
that
true,
had been
that's true.
Kind of deferred for a couple
been
months.
deferred.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but tonight you just approved 15,000.
Right.
Right, that's
In
true.
a month or two, you're going to see all of that. hit
Yes,
the-
and I do understand
so
that.
that's the ebb and flow.
Yeah, I do understand that, but like I say, I would say a lot of those months. And then the last 2 months, I've seen not very much. And so, and I'm not, it isn't that I don't believe you, I do. I understand that you're reporting correctly. It's just that if I can have a motion that we make that we will accept your contract for the lesser amount, and with review within 6 months and to see how we're doing, something along that line. But setting a date for it to start.
Carol, I plan to start doing the review the day after the
Well,
contract
you're right,
starts.
you're right.
I mean, I don't think we need to wait 6 months. We're gonna know as we go along whether it's working or
When I
not.
say 6 months, I'm saying looking at it every month and looking at it for 6
Right,
months,
okay.
okay? I don't mean hold off till 6 months.
Well, but I mean, after 4 months, we decide it's not working how we want it to, I don't wanna
Okay,
wait for
all right,
6.
well, then it's not necessary to put that in then.
Okay.
But anyway, and then, still, we haven't come to a motion yet. We're still having this discussion with you, Bill,
Sure.
with your
Yeah, I wanna know.
presentation. With your presentation is that the idea of a part-time general manager, and then that's a decision. If that, you do that, then we're gonna have to decide, is it gonna be an employee or a contract kind of person? That you are willing to work with, for X amount of time with the newly hired general manager for a period of time and working with Infomark at the same time to get that in place.
You want me to expand on that just a little bit?
Sure.
So here's my vision. Say they get their contracts in place May 1st. We go ahead and approve May 1st contract. Their amendment's approved. I would work with them to transition and really dive into all the tasks that are no longer in that contract.
Okay.
And pull that together to determine who do I need for that task? And I can do this in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Or less, of transitioning and possibly find you somebody you can interview to do that. So I'm kind of putting a cap of 2 months transition here.
Okay.
Of May 1st through July 1st kind of area.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to take that long, possibly, because I have some ideas of some folks that might be very interested in doing the part-time thing.
And in this process, I would hope that we can find or develop, but find a schedule of tasks, schedule to be done. Things don't always fit a calendar, I know that, but there should be a planned schedule of things to be done. And some things are to be done daily, some things monthly, etc. But there are certain tasks that should be done in January. Some things that, again, I go back and don't discount the fact that my groundwork is school, and that's what you do. You develop the year's plan, and you block it into each month as what you've got to have done in those months. And I would, if we can come to that, recognizing that this is an ongoing event, it's not something set in stone, okay? Because like you're talking about the ponds, currently she checks those ponds. How often does she check them now, Daryl?
The inspections are
Or what now?
Monthly.
Monthly, okay, so she does it on a monthly basis, okay, all right. And she keeps a record of that, as I'm aware of, yes. And so y'all have that in file. And those things are important, I think, so, okay, all right.
Bill, I have a question on your number one recommendation. When you talk about a part-time job, are you talking about 20 hours or 30 hours? And I don't know what the statute
Weekly.
limit before we.
Well, it really depends on all the tasks. What she just talked about, we've got to glean and determine what have they been doing as a general manager?
Yeah.
And is there some things that need to be improved upon or added to the task, right? And then, so that would be my job, to come back to the board with, here's the task that this person will need to do. Okay? That's what I think my job would be, to determine the task needed for, and what type of person and what information do they really need, right? To be able to do the job. So it's really putting together a scope of work for the general manager. So, but until I have a sit down with them and really go through details, I won't know that. But I would say next meeting, we should have that all ironed out, and here's what we're doing, and I may have some resumes to turn over to you. But I would say, go ahead and start their contract May 1st if they're willing transition over a couple of months with me, then we ought to be able to get to where we need to get to by July 1st.
Mine is, I've talked to you about it before, but I think the office hours that we have now need to stay how they are. I think I've shared that with you already. Did we already switch that to keep it the way that it already is presently?
Correct.
Because when I am up here, there's people coming in and out all the time, residents. So I don't want to cut anymore and confuse people on when someone's here, when someone's not here.
Well, that's something I'd like to look into to determine, what is the need for the office person?
Yeah, that's what she is, yeah, and I want to make sure right now that that's not cut. Because when I come up here, there's always a resident or somebody in there. So I don't want to, I know that in the contract, we had cut some of that, the first one,
Correct.
but then, okay.
Okay,
And she's not here full-time.
no, I know that.
Yeah.
Another question I have is, so you said we have the option of going with an independent contractor that would do general management. And I would assume that route, you would get somebody assigned that probably has other districts and not as fully dedicated? Or?
Well, it depends. I mean, if they're part-time, they're going to be dedicated for a certain part-time basis.
Okay.
It's no different than what the operations companies do. Yeah, they could work somewhere else because they're part-time.
Could be a retiree that wants to work half-time.
Yeah. Or it could be that what I'm going to be looking for is somebody who has the real experience to do this.
Right.
I'm not looking for somebody that just, I want to manage it.
Yeah, and we're going to have to teach them.
Well, the thing is, I think there's people out there that have the knowledge of how to manage a district that may be, this is what would fit them, like, because it's part-time.
Right.
It's not a
I agree.
full-time position.
And
But
Bill,
there's also, there's various ways, but there could be where if it's a part-time position, they could be working for another person, but they have an obligation under a contract that it has to be set, and we can set the hours in the contract, that they have to either be here or be available.
how much are you willing to work for us for now to do that?
Well,
I don't think, you guys may have done that last month, I
No.
just didn't hear it.
Okay, so I charge $100 an hour for my time. And I have an associate that we charge $50 an hour, just in case I need to get him to come in, because he actually did the review of the contracts for me.
Okay.
But I was gonna do it on an hourly basis, and then give y'all a report weekly, if need to, how many hours I spent on this task. But I can't really do what I did on the initial one and just kind of put a cap on it yet, but I will say I don't think I'll exceed $5,000 doing it this way.
Are you willing to stay for 3 to 6 months for the transition?
I'm gonna be in and out, available in and out as needed,
Okay,
but that's gonna depend on you guys to say, hey, we need your help. A phone call, email, Bill, here's what we need you to do. If I'm already past, say you already got somebody in place. I wanna help whoever comes in here to get in place and to do it the right way. Because I have some ideas of how the right way is myself.
well, you did it for a long time and you were
Right,
very
so
successful
I
with this
know
one.
that there's a very good way of doing this for the right person. You gotta find the right person that has the abilities to do this. And I think I've got a couple people that might be able to do this and do it the right way.
Okay, thank you.
With integrity and truth and facts, and that's how we're gonna deal with
Yes.
the politics stuff. We're not gonna be a part of that. We're gonna be part of what does it take to manage this district and work with the board, whoever the board is. We'll work with the board. That's my plan.
Thank you.
Okay?
Sounds pretty positive to me.
So do we need to make a motion at this time?
And contract.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve Infomark's contract with the 4 hours for the on-site person.
In the lesser amount?
A day.
Yeah.
You're approving
The lesser amount,
the
right.
lesser amount, which, okay,
Do
we
you have a copy of
understand.
that contract, or can you send me a signed copy? Thanks.
Okay,
That keeps releasing the office.
well,
We can second.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Now, are we setting a date for this to
I think May
start?
1st, I think May 1st is fine.
Is that all right with y'all, Daryl? Okay.
Yeah, I think Daryl wanted February 1st.
I think he did too.
Twenty twenty-five, yeah.
Yeah, 2025, there you go.
Okay.
It means a lot to
So
get
I
now,
done.
have
I got a
another-
motion and a second for the Infomark contract.
Okay, the Infomark, all in favor unless you call the vote, so go.
Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Okay, now then,
Congratulations.
Did you
One
have something to
question
say?
for, yeah, for Cole. So I know maybe this is not to state to talk about this, but I do want to, I don't know if we need to maybe talk about if we end up moving with option one, what would Cole's role be in that employment component of things? Because I mean, then we would.
Contract review, the way I see it, and then employment, we have to give information. If you hired a person part-time, what does it take? What do you have to provide as a district? I don't know that.
You want to make sure, if you want the person to be a contract person, you got to make sure he's not an employee. And there's ways to do that. You can't tell him how to do his job. You can't. You see what I'm saying?
I know that. I'm just saying from his Bill Fry's an associate, are they going to handle the legalese of contracting an employee?
No.
A W-2 employee?
No.
How is that going to work? Because I mean, you can still be an employee under a contract.
But the thing is, if I have a contract, then that person would be under my if I have had the contract and I provided a person, that would be just like what you're doing with Infomark. But if you're going to hire a part-time person directly hired by the board, then I'm out of it. I don't have anything to do
I think
with
the
that.
board can take care of it itself.
And I'm going to try to find somebody that you could hire part-time rather than me being involved in the middle of it through a contract, is what I'm going to try to do. But I can do it the other way and have that person contract directly with you as an individual. He could contract with you.
Yeah, and I don't think I explained myself really well. If we're hiring an employee,
right?
I want to make sure we have an employment attorney to ensure we have the proper job description in place. We have everything that needs to be done. So the question is, would you recommend some sort of firm to do that, Cole? Is that something that you would do within your firm? So who's going to do the hiring, the legal components of the hiring?
I wasn't thinking about hiring an employee.
Yeah, so my recommendation would be if you hire someone, hire a contractor.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Because if you do an employee, you have to.
You've got all sorts of employees. Now you got
there's
employee
way more work.
reports.
You currently have no
stuff.
employees,
Yeah,
correct?
right.
Right, but I'm
We're
hearing both.
statutory employees.
Eddie's
Well,
got a comment. Is that fine?
Okay.
I'll allow that. Go ahead, Eddie.
So I'm not a law enforcement agency, I'm a contractor.
Right.
So it's hiring him, it's like hiring me. At any time of point, you can say, hey, we're done with you. Here's your
You don't want
thing,
employees.
and then it's it. I'm not your employee, I'm not like your W-2, I'm a 1099. Because at the end of the year, I gotta pay taxes on all the money that I receive. I'm just a vendor. So he'll be like a vendor's list. He'll
Yeah,
be just.
that's right.
He's just somebody that you have. He's not an employee. He's not attached to anything related to the district. He's just, it's like me.
He still has the obligations, just like you
I
have
still have the
the
obligation to do my
security,
duties because I have a signed
operations, legal,
Right.
engineering.
contract. You have different types. You have a security contract, you have this guy's a contract.
So I'm hearing we're not moving with somebody on a W-2, because that's what
Right.
I kind of heard.
Right.
That
No.
would be an option.
We never, I don't
That's a
think we ever
pain if
considered
you
it.
want to do it.
No, I don't want to do that. I'm
No,
just
I
saying
don't.
that was, I heard that was an
But
option.
you could have somebody who, and I'm
Well,
not
it's
saying
an option,
myself,
but
but
it's
you could
not
have
an
somebody
option.
who's a management company provide the general manager, like they were doing, but a different group.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Bill.
all your
Thank
work
y'all.
on this.
Y'all just let me
Do we
know
need to
what
make a
next
motion
step
on
is.
anything else, Cole?
No,
Just amended Infomark's contract. If you want Bill to bring a contract for Bill Fry and Associates to provide that kind of the chunk of time that he said to help you all while either he finds somebody that you hire through his office or under his umbrella, or you hire somebody, another contracting firm. Basically, my recommendation is ask Bill to just bring a contract for
Right.
services into your next
And you've
board
already
meeting.
stated basically what it was going to say.
And
Yeah,
you'll do
so
that,
the thing is that
You'll do
their
that.
contract still gets started May 1st.
Yes.
I won't have any approval until the next board meeting.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
Okay, very good.
all right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Thanks a
y'all's
lot.
time.
Okay, we are gonna move on.
Oh.
Let's see if we,
9.
yes, committee assignments and reports. Park committee, including discuss needed repairs, we've already done that. Number 2, I don't know why it was on there, we don't have anything to discuss, it's already been discussed, I think it's several meetings. Number 3, discuss amended park rules and membership rates. We do have that. I'm gonna see how quickly we can try to do this and approve this. We'll just go through it. For section 3, I'm not sure I have this in order. I think that's pretty good. It's fine. Okay, so for the annual memberships for tennis and pickleball courts, Hanoi and I have discussed this, the annual membership for a resident. We would like to change it from 60 to 75. I mean, I think, just to make a statement, I think everything is going up. We have repairs that need to be made often. These courts are being used a lot every day. I don't think that what we're doing, it's very small and everything. But anyways, resident is $75 instead of 60. Non-resident was 200. We're asking for 250. If someone can make notes of that.
If I can get a copy of that since I.
Yes, I'll do that.
What is it now, 200?
It was $60 for a resident.
The non-resident.
Non-resident would be 250.
What was it?
200.
Okay, I got that.
Sorry. Okay.
I'll get it to you, Cole.
Commercial use of pavilions and district building, he can have this after we're done.
Okay.
For Anderson Mill West Pavilion, it was $25 an hour, it's now 40 is what we're asking to have approved. For commercial non-resident, it was 50 an hour, we're changing that to 100. If you go down to Lakeline Oaks Pavilion, it was 25 an hour for commercial resident, it's now 40. For commercial non-resident, it was 50, it's now 100. For commercial resident for district building, it was 75, it's now 100. Commercial non-resident, it's 115 an hour, we're now raising it to 150. Then we go on down to section 5, non-commercial, non-profit reservations. For resident, it was 15, it's now 25. Non-resident was 60 to 75. Non-profit resident, it was 15 an hour, we're now moving that to 25 if we can get this approved. Non-profit, non-resident was 30, going to 50. For the resident again, for the 3-hour minimum would be 25 an hour, non-resident would be 75. I do want to, we would like to remove G because we do not have a constable anymore in the district. And G is if alcoholic beverages are to be served, which they will not be anymore. An additional charge would be made, but we're not going to do that. We're taking it out that there'll be no alcohol used at all because we don't have a constable. Non-profit, non-resident rate, let's see, for section 5.2, again, for a resident, it was $5 an hour, it's being raised to 25. Non-resident, 25 an hour is now 50. Non-resident is now $25. If we approve it, non-profit, non-resident is 45. And that's for a 3-hour minimum, which is $25 for resident, non-resident is 50. Do I have any questions or is there any discussion? Okay.
So we've raised everything.
Maybe you can have a copy of it.
Yes, that does need to get, you're gonna make one right now? Okay. Is there any discussions? And really the whole reason why we're doing this is that the parks are expensive. Parks are not cheap. It's something that everybody in this community loves. Even our non-residents love this. We're having a lot of repairs. We still are much lower than other people in other districts. I think we both realize that this was fair. It's not crazy.
Call for the vote.
So how do you want me to do that?
Just a motion to amend the park rules as presented. Yeah, as presented.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Amendment to amend the park rules, and we just had a second on it. So, if there's no discussion, all in favor? Okay, great.
May I make one piece of advice, if you don't mind? I've seen this before because I had another district. You all don't have an election, but I've seen in these situations when districts raise rates, obviously people get upset about it. You'll get residents who will want to comment. I know that for the past few months, you've had a couple residents in from the tennis community, I think, who've asked about the restriping of the courts. Might say it might be a good idea for the board to consider doing that work, so you can kind of give a little, take a little type of.
That's why we are putting this in place, so that we can get more done.
Okay.
When will these go into effect?
Tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll make the changes and then send them out tomorrow, so Reese can put them on or I'll send them out so everybody can put them on the district website.
And Carol, to answer your question, it is so, I mean, we've been looking at this, it's gotten so expensive.
I do understand
We really
that.
don't.
I do understand that. I'm just talking about communication. I would say send out the notice, this is coming, and it will become effective on May 1st or something like that. What, a couple of weeks? Is that what that is?
May 1st is perfect for me, Cole.
Sure, May 1st.
Are you okay with that?
And send out a message on the web, notify, and with the price listing, if you will.
And that there's a good segue into the next item on there, Carol.
Well, what is the next item on it?
Information management. I'll let you do that.
Oh, okay. Well, certainly we've met a number of times. We've had with Daryl and Caleb online with, face-to-face kinds of meetings and so forth. We've discussed a lot of things, a whole lot. We recognize Cole's advice. We recognize that we need to clean out our webpage. There's a plan of mind, I would say, at this point, is, first of all, part one. Part one is that it would address legal, talking with Caleb and how to do that. That is to be determined, but still, he is working on that right now, that we, under that section would be all things legal that have to be there all the time. Access to it in some fashion. Certainly we're not going to print it all off, but we're going to have ways for the public to be able to get to it. That's going to take some time to accomplish that. The second part of legal is those short-term messages. The one that clicks in my mind are elections. It has a set period of time and then it's removed. There are those kinds of legal things that need to be, but number one is legal. The second thing is what I would call communication. The primary, or the first part, would be communication from the board. That exists now in a good fashion, in that the monthly board meetings are summarized. You have the minutes that go there. You have the board packets that go there. And so you can go back a number of years to find those things. That's not to say that is the only way that information should be available, but it is there. Okay, so the idea that we've been kicking around is that this would have a 2-year limit. The current year we're working in, like right where we are now, we would be up to, we would have had March, okay. But all of last year would be there. The rest of it, for the time being, would be moved to the third item, the third group. What we, for the time being, we call archive. For all the other stuff that is there that doesn't fit in legal, it doesn't fit into what this 2-year block of communication is, but we will put it into archive so that we can really look at it and see what we want to keep, what we think we should keep, or where we should leave it in archive, okay? And then ultimately, number 4 is we need to come to a plan for purging. We're not going to just go in and start wiping, clicking stuff away.
No, but we're not going to have, in the year 2085, I hope we don't have 6 storage buildings with all of our records in it.
Well, but this is our web, what we're talking about right now. We're not talking about the stuff that's in paper somewhere. But it's a what would you call a thumbnail sketch of an idea of what to do with it. And to say to Mr. Murray is that we are looking at it all the time. We are looking at documents. And so this is what I've come to at this point is, you got this block of a way to look at it. And the primary right now is to fix level 1 or number 1 is legal. Get connected to whatever we are legally required to have on there or access to, and then whatever is short-term legal. And then the second part, again, is reasonably easy to deal with right now, is that we keep all of last year's board meetings on there with all the information in them, and then up to where we are now, and just getting them on there as quick as we can, we get our minutes so we can put them in the packet, and that's part 2. And then when we start taking things off of it so we can see where we are, we're going to put them in a block called archive. They haven't gone away, they're there, and then we will begin to.
And they're going to basically be in the same format as they were when they were live. It's
That's
just gonna
true.
be-
That's true. The board meeting packets and all they're just going to be exactly the way they are right now. They're just going to be in a different location.
Right.
And so we'll be getting back with Caleb and talk with him about all this and how are we going and what are his suggestions, because there's more to this than just having an idea. I mean, you've got to figure out, for example, legal. How do you connect? That's not an easy task. It's not an easy task in technology. It's a time-consuming thing to get that done, and so we'll be talking with him, and certainly it has come up. Well, we just need to go to another company. Okay. That may be, but I don't want to do that without working with the one that we have and see if we can't work this out.
Exactly.
Because if we were to go to another company,
We'd have to start all
you've
over.
got to go through transition, and that's a task. That is a task, and so our cost is not bad. Well,
What is it?
I've lost the number, Chris. What is it? We
Well,
pay? It's a monthly charge.
Yeah, we priced other people, telling them what we would want them to do, and they were all in the
$345.
ballpark.
That's it. $345 is our monthly cost.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we are looking at potentially a cost going up, but that again will go into the time that is needed to get all of this technologically fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that Touchstone is the one that's going to do that?
Right.
That's who we're with at this time.
At this
yes.
time.
Mhm. And like I say, give them an opportunity to work with us, to work for us, and we've got a plan, our thumbnail drive of a plan, and it's not to say that this is the plan at all. It can change.
You know, we've asked them to look at some other websites of other MUDs and you know, what seems to be a trend that people are doing as far as bare minimum, and what are they, you know, what is this 2 years we picked? I think that's a good period because we have election every 2 years, so it's a good period of time. But they realize we're trying to keep costs down, and we just don't want this to balloon.
I have looked at a fair number, not a massive amount, but I've looked at a fair number of MUDs, and they're all unique. That's all I can say.
That's true.
They're all unique.
Is there anything that you need us to approve tonight for that, or?
I have a question for you when you.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
No, a question for the committee. You know, I'm not really familiar with this company. I know we've been with them for a very long time, but I think when it comes to like information, it is important that we, you know, contract somebody that's able to communicate on behalf of the district.
And we still feel Touchstone is
You think
that.
they can do that?
Yes, we think so.
Okay.
And
They have enough customers that I don't think they would be having these customers unless they're doing something right.
Because my understanding is that they have not been really effective, and so I'm wondering.
Because we haven't given it.
We haven't given them directives.
I
is that what
don't
it is?
think we've been directing them.
To do the work.
I think the committee, I mean, it can get real expensive,
Yeah.
real quick if you go crazy. And what we want is, that's why we did it, these levels of what's the bare minimum that we need to have in there. And show you that there's not a whole lot that TCEQ requires. I was real surprised how little of it's required. I mean, it's still in the, you know, you can do
Touchstone,
it this way.
they do this for other MUDs.
That's right.
They have other MUDs.
That means something.
The best way I can say it is we are unique, okay? For lots of reasons, we are unique. We have more than some of their, I won't say all, because I don't know all, but some of their customers. We have considerably more. And you know, one of the recommendations that has, or suggestions, I should say, is just wipe the whole thing clean. Well, we can't do that. We can't do that. And we have to have a way to.
Well, we'd have a period of time there'd be nothing on there. And I mean, I think people at least love paying their water bills online.
Well, but I'm saying is we need to look at it in a way that we can efficiently clean it up, okay? And working with, I'm suggesting, my idea is, I'm suggesting that we stay with Touchstone for a period of time and see how they are going to respond, because I have communicated with Daryl on this, that I think they are to be working on legal right now, because that is something they ought to know.
Right.
And so.
It should be something that all of all of their flood districts are
The
doing.
question he had given to me was, when the phone conversation, whatever, he said to me, but how do you want to do it? I don't know. I just know I want what we are legally required to have, and have the best and efficient way for our public to be able to
Access it.
to get to it.
Yeah.
And so that's all I can say is fix it that way.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
your
show
job.
me
We told
something.
them, that's your job.
Yeah, well, then
Right,
show me
right now,
something.
That's what
Yeah.
he's working on.
You-
So
right,
the
right. I assume that.
recommendation Of how to kind of make these changes going forward.
Right.
That's what he's working on.
I
He just
assume so
hasn't
much.
completed that.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
I'm trying to get us in our,
Sure.
Okay, well, that
Old
needs
business.
to
that,
vote on.
I love that, I mean, I'm just gonna give my 2 cents, I think it's fantastic, I like your idea of what you're doing.
Well,
Thank you for
it's-
working on it.
It's
I know
been a lot of conversations.
It's got a lot of stuff on there that
conversations,
does not need to be on there, that I have had, I've even done that when
We're
we were at our state
confusing our
conference.
residents with
Yes.
some of the stuff that's on there. It says one thing and we're doing something else, so we need to get,
Well,
we
and
need
at
to
the
get it
conference, you
accurate.
learn that too, don't keep anything more on there than what you
Yeah,
need,
Right.
you know, that's what they
okay.
tell us.
All right,
Okay, are you good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, number 10, old business. We don't have anything to discuss on A. Move on, attorney's reports, 11.
Item A, I believe, this is Chris, you asked us to put this on the agenda, there's a billing dispute with Key Plumbing Services. I know I picked that to Infomark, and I don't know if you guys ever got the backup documentation or not. No?
Well, there was some attachments that the customer provided in the original email
Oh,
that I still haven't received.
Yeah, a lot of attachments don't get forwarded. It's a new security device, so unless they can't forward an attachment, they have to attach it themselves.
Yeah, but the gist of the issue was that there was a plumber at a resident's home making a repair. They used the district's cutoff valve, and it broke while they were in the process of turning off the service. Then we had to come out and fix
Fix it.
that on an emergency basis, and that, per district kind of policy, that was then billed to the resident, who then forwarded that on to their plumber.
Yep.
So the plumbing company is basically disputing those charges.
I think we're gonna have to eat that.
On behalf of the resident.
How old was the meter, the cutoff? 40
Um,
years old? I mean,
possibly.
you can't tell whether he turned it off wrong or not. I mean,
I mean, those fittings, I mean, they do deteriorate.
Yes, but then also, if you don't put that tool on correctly, you can break it. I mean, I just don't, we're at a point where, I don't know what we can do.
What was the bill?
What would you like to do?
I'd like the plumber to call us up and say, you're probably right, we had a stooge on it that day, we're gonna go ahead and pay for it, so. But I mean, that's not gonna happen, so I think we just need to eat it. How much was the bill?
Again, it wasn't in that email. I want to say, from memory of looking into it, I think it was like 1,700.
100?
Wow.
I mean, this was at night. It was an after hours emergency repair.
So Cole,
I don't wanna pass that on to the resident.
I'm trying to figure out, can we pass that to next month, or is that not gonna be helpful to the resident? I mean,
I'm sure the resident wants a response.
Oh, yeah.
But it's up to you
Well,
all.
it's under review, it's under
Yeah.
review.
So let me help
I
help
can
him.
say, I think it's fair to say you need the resident to provide all the attachments. and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
to investigate.
Okay.
I think that's
Can you
fair,
add-
very fair.
The other
Yes.
thing that I would recommend that you possibly do is to make a motion not to penalize. the
Yeah, well,
resident
I'll make that
with disconnected
motion.
service for non-payment
Yeah,
correct,
while it's being reviewed.
yes.
I'm 100%.
What he said.
So can you explain again, I'm sorry, what is he reporting? What is his side of the report, the resident?
That the plumbing company, from the email that I could read, I believe they're basically claiming that it was that it broke due to age of the cutoff valve.
And we got no
The
way to
plumbing
prove,
company that came in to,
turn off,
To fix the leak on the resident side.
Right.
Use the district's cutoff valve, because I don't know if the resident didn't have a valve on their side of the meter, or.
most of the time it's buried and can't find it. And it's so much easier to use the district's cutoff.
I just.
I use
I
it.
just use the one at my house.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So.
but if the plumber
Broke it.
broke it, why is not the resident calling the plumber's insurance for the damage caused?
It's probably so small that he's probably got a deductible.
Possibly.
I mean, I mean, he did it, I mean, he worked, and if there's a contract in place or something, I mean, I don't think we should be paying for
Can
something
you gather
that
all the
we
info
didn't touch.
on all of that? And
So I have a motion by Chris to not penalize the resident for non-payment until the board receives and reviews the backup documentation.
Right, there you go.
Related to the broken cutoff valve.
There you
Seconded
go.
by,
I'll second it, that's fine. All in favor?
Okay.
Unanimous? Okay, the second one?
last item, amend the district rate order. I forward this on to, to Infomark, but the 2026 fire protection rate is going up to $35.35 monthly per district customer. Current rate is $34.89, so I guess it's going up by 46 cents. And so your rate order, at first we used to have language in there that was just well, at first it didn't get updated. Then we had language that said it was passed through to the Cedar Park rate. Cedar Park said that they're not really willing to put this letter on their website, or their rate on the website, because they just don't believe it's their job to update the website. And so your rate order currently has the rate listed. That just means every year as Cedar Park amends its rate order, or its fire protection rate, you have to amend your rate order. So I'm asking for a motion to amend the district's rate order to reflect the $35.35 new monthly fire protection rate, which is effective May 1st, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
And Matt Reese, you'll put that on there?
We need a second. I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, the time now is 8:17. I'm at,
Are we changing the date of the May, board meeting?
oh, that's right, and you said that you could not, or you can?
What was the date? I
May 20th.
slept since.
No, we had to switch, we're having to switch it because they're voting.
The election is gonna be
The election equipment's going to be.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have to change the meeting date.
to the 13th.
13th?
Can you do that, Cole?
I cannot, I will be out of town, I could call in that.
Is there another time that, or another day that you could do that
The only
week?
time I'm out of, well, I could do Tuesday the 19th.
Is that available?
Oh, wait, what, yeah, tell me what's off.
So there's basically, I think from the 8th, up until May 8th, I believe, the equipment's going to be in here for the regular voting.
Mhm.
And then I think on the 14th, they bring the equipment.
For the regular voting.
Back for the next special.
Runoff?
I'm looking at my calendar, so she can
So
record all she
it's
wants.
kind of limited to the 11th, 12th, or 13th. It's kind of a small window when there won't be voting equipment in here.
11th, 12th, and 13th?
Or we could meet out on the patio.
No,
At a restaurant.
not by that
What is
way.
your calendar
Well,
say?
we don't know.
So
Or you can defer the meeting.
Yeah, give the dates again, we had to get,
11th,
he's gotta
12th,
get
and
his
13th.
calendar out, cause he travels so much, so I allowed him to get his
11th,
phone
12th,
for that.
and
Did the rate order?
I did.
You did, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Just so the public knows that yes, I allowed him to have his phone to get his calendar.
What is the 11th? What is that?
So those days, any of those days,
Monday,
in
Tuesday,
the afternoon,
Wednesday.
or what are we thinking?
5:30.
Late afternoon, yep.
Oh, 5 o'clock would be better.
It'll be a special meeting, I can do the 11th or the 12th. Well, I can do the 11th or after 4 PM on the 12th.
What day is the best for you? I know
12 is
you-
fine, yep.
The 12th?
That's a Monday, Tuesday, you're saying?
Yes?
That's a Tuesday.
Is that fine with
This
y'all?
one is a Tuesday.
Okay, that's.
So 12, 5 o'clock?
12 that time.
Okay. All right.
That will affect our,
Okay,
we need to notify
Um,
Renee right away.
so I'll go ahead and make a motion that we are moving our meeting to May 12th at 5 PM for next month because of voting equipment in the building. All in favor? I didn't get a second. Can I get a second?
I'll get a
Sorry.
second.
All in favor? Okay, great.
Okay.
Can you do that?
I just need an officer back.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, it is 8:20. I'm gonna ask for another 20 minutes because we need to go to executive session. The time is 8:20. I'm asking everybody to please exit the building.
Okay, well, I'll vote that we have an extra 20 minutes. Is that what we need to do?
Yes, an extra 20 minutes. All in favor? Okay, again, the time is 8:20.
Take care.
I'll make a motion that we.
I second.
All in favor? Let's go home.
Well, folks,